The biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, is on for your Monday afternoon.
All right, so I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
And
hot take, look out.
And yes, welcome back to the boys. Mason and Ireland have returned from the summer vacation and ready for a week of fun and frivolity. We'll get the details on Ireland's trip to Idaho. And we will find out if Mace got into too much trouble at Terranea Resort last week. Plus, I believe today, we are reviewing golf swings and seeing which one wins for one of our fabulous listeners to play golf with Corporate Greg and Johnny I. Also, speaking of more giveaways, get ready because Mason and Ireland are throwing a pep rally Friday, September 1st to get ready for LAFC and Messi coming to town. More details on how you could win exclusive tickets to Press the Flesh with Mason and Ireland, Corporate Greg at BMO Stadium next Friday.
This is Carlos Vela, number 10, Los Angeles Football Club. LAFC, the black and gold, play here on 710 ESPN.
All of that and so much more. Welcome back, Mason and Ireland, the biggest show on the radio, your Monday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So we're
Hi,
back,
guys.
people. What's up?
Welcome back.
what's going on?
What
excited
happens
to have you
when we're
back.
not here? What happens when we're not here?
The whole radio station shuts down.
Does it?
Yeah,
just
I find that
pull the
difficult to
plug.
believe.
Pull the plug on the station.
That's it.
What's the point?
It's just dead
Who
air
was the
all
best
week.
fill-in host while we were gone?
Ooh, that's a Brian. You were here all those days.
All right,
I was
Brian,
sitting out.
fill-in
a lot.
host MVP, so you don't have to knock anybody. You just have to pick somebody good.
I'll say Momo. Yeah, she was
Yeah,
pretty
Momo.
solid.
Yeah,
I think she was
Momo.
here the most too. So, but she held it down.
All right,
I'm
good.
really impressive.
Yeah,
She
That
She had a
is.
couple
Yeah.
good drop worthy too.
yeah, she's definitely always drop worthy.
What if I told you?
So here's the deal.
I honestly don't think I farted in 2 months.
There you go. There's a good drop. So you
That's
can
a long time to go without farting, by the way.
It is. I think she came around ultimately. So Mason and Ireland, all week long, we got your chance to win tickets to the exclusive Mason and Ireland LAFC pep rally and live broadcast. That's Friday, September 1 from 1 to 4 p.m. inside BMO Stadium at the very fancy Founders Club. Fans in attendance got a chance to win LAFC versus Miami tickets, maybe see Messi, plus autograph, merchandise, food, drinks. Listen all week to Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN for your chance to win. So what do you do in Idaho when you go there?
Golf a lot in the mornings,
Yep.
hang out at the lake a lot in the afternoons, eat too much at night.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and
At home or restaurants?
both.
Both.
Yeah. And so this was the last year. We're building a house up there. This is the last year we're going to have to stay somewhere other than the house. It'll be
Oh, okay.
done by next year.
Wow.
So-
is it fancy? Is it like Michael Thompson's house?
Oh, nothing's like that.
Yeah.
You know, that might be the nicest
Okay,
house I've ever seen.
If Michael Thompson's house is the greatest house you've ever seen,
Right.
And that's a 10.
And
where
your
does-
old house on Navy that was the size of a refrigerator
Right.
box is the bottom.
is the bottom, right?
And Michael's house is the top.
Yeah.
Ours is like 7 out of 10.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah, ours is good.
Oh, that's
there.
good.
But
Yeah.
it'll be done by this point next year. They call it the Satan summer in Idaho.
What does that mean?
There's 2 weeks where it's just unbearably hot, and we seem to pick those weeks every year. So average temp was like 99 degrees while I was there.
Wow.
But it doesn't really heat up till later in the afternoon, and everybody's on the boat in lakes
Yeah,
and
nice.
jumping around. So
I
it
got
was fun.
to-
But you went to Terranea.
I went to Terranea.
So
my
you've
God.
been hearing me sing the praises of Terranea for years.
Oh, years.
But you've never gone.
Right.
Did I oversell or undersell?
You know, it's amazing, but I think you undersold it.
No
a little
kidding.
bit. Yeah.
Really? You liked it that much?
I thought it was. We had a beautiful room.
Greg, have you ever been? I know you're going Thursday.
No, I've never been, but yes, I'm staying Thursday. I'm
Brian, have you
crazy
ever been?
excited.
Never been now.
So I always say it's the best kept secret in Southern California.
You also say it's Hawaii without ever getting on a plane, which is dead on the money.
What was your favorite part?
We had, and it was expensive, but we had dinner at a place called Marcel,
They have 4 restaurants. That's the fancy place.
which was arguably the best view I have ever had for a meal.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that because here's a tip if you're going to Terranea and you make reservations at Marcel. Make them before the sun goes down, so you can see that view.
Oh, yeah,
like
exactly.
6:30, 7 o'clock is perfect.
Yep.
You can even cheat towards 7:30, but anything past that, it's dark and you won't see the view.
Yeah.
So you got to see the view.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And yeah, shout to Ralph Grippo. Thank you so much. The entire staff. By the way, the greatest customer service. Like great.
Oh, I know.
A lot of times you sit by a pool and you just hope somebody's going to come by and take your drink.
They come by almost too much.
They're like right there. We are drinking when we are there.
What's the name of the place you go to in Costa Rica that you sent me to?
Rio Perdido.
No, how is it compared between the two?
Rio Perdido is more roughing it, I think.
Yeah.
And Terranea is more luxury-ing it.
Yeah, but it was good. Both. Of them
both were great. Both were. And by the
Did you
way,
stay in a casita?
no, we did not stay in a casino.
No, well, the regular rooms are great.
Yeah, we know. We sat. We had
But you can get a casita. If you want a house, you can get a villa.
Yeah.
The casitas are like an apartment.
we had a view of the ocean from our room, which was just crazy. And
I can't wait to get down there.
Here's a etiquette question. So we went to Marcel's, which
Okay.
is this fancy restaurant, very classy. It's like you have to wear shoes, so I put on tennis shoes. You're not, not
a big
allowed
shift for you.
to wear your hat, so I didn't wear a hat. So I go to this place, and I'm a little stoned, and Juan has had a few drinks.
Okay.
And the bread was absolutely delicious there. So Juan, after the meal, after dessert, said, "Could we have another basket of bread?" So they bring another basket of bread out, and then Juan says, "Could you wrap that up for us so we can take it back to our
Come on,
room?"
Juan.
Baller move.
I said, that is the least classy thing you can do. It's like my grandmother slipping the salt and pepper shakers into her purse at some restaurant down the line. What do you think? Is that a huge faux pas?
It's not a faux pas at all.
No, you think? The bread is great.
They're happy to do it.
Yeah, the bread was great.
Customer's always right.
Yeah.
Well, you can't reuse the bread. You're not going to like you can.
Right,
So,
once it's on the table,
might
yeah.
as well just take
but
it with
he ordered
you.
it, and then basically when they came back, said, "Box that up."
Yeah. I have
Why don't you
zero
say boxing up
issues.
some bread?
I have
Box up
zero
the bread.
issues with what Juan did.
Yeah, it was great bread.
Now, by the way, Greg, did the Dodgers lose while we were gone
They
at
lost
all?
One time.
I said that
One
to Greg
time.
first thing. They lost to Sandy Alcantara, which I had a hunch on
Yeah, it was obvious.
from Miami. Otherwise, no losses.
They're like a runaway train now. I gave them little shot to beat Atlanta, but now I kind of do.
I got to be honest.
What in the hell has gotten into Lance Lynn?
Yeah, I think I have underestimated this team. Now, the weird thing is...
Weird. They're not just a regular team.
No, they're not.
Ordinary team.
Not on this run.
Well,
they've
you
made
realize
some changes.
Right? And statistically, Greg, their starting pitching staff is still among the worst ever in LA history. It's just they score as many runs as they need.
Well,
But-
the guys that were out there are not out there anymore.
Yeah, and by the way, and Bobby Miller, I feel much more comfortable with
He's
on
been
the
great.
mound now.
By the way,
he's
is
been
it
very
common
good.
knowledge? I was listening to Charlie and Rick driving home from Idaho one night at the game, and Charlie almost casually said, "Tony Gonsolin done."
Yeah, done for the year.
Yeah, he's out for the year.
That's common knowledge.
Yeah.
It is common knowledge, and it's also, I mean, like good. He had a decent
Well,
year.
he had that oh man, that last start. Why
It
did
was
they hang him out
awful.
to dry?
Well,
2 innings, 10
well, they
earned
need.
runs.
It's because it was the day of the doubleheader.
Yeah.
So they needed,
They had
and the second game was the first game was a bull. So one of those games was a bullpen game.
Right.
So they needed innings.
Yeah,
and they just said, sorry, we got to leave you out there. And
Yeah.
he gave up like 4 homers in 3 innings.
You gave up a 10 spot in 2 innings.
I mean,
Oh.
he wasn't going to get onto the post. Whether or not he was a postseason roster, he was not going to be a starter.
No, he was not going to be a starter. Right now, you'd have to say your third starter is Bobby Miller and your fourth starter is Lance Lynn.
Or you can mix
Other
it
way
up.
around.
It's one of those two.
Bobby Miller's been great.
Wait a minute.
I'm not saying anything
It's
about
tough.
Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn has been great, too.
Lance Lynn has been, I think he's pitched 3 games. He's won all 3 and has an ERA under 2. How do you get better than that?
I think Bobby Miller, if you look at his stretch of the last few starts, he's been dynamic.
He's been great. It's about who has better stuff. Lance Lynn is obviously very good, but he does have the tendency to give up home runs. Whereas Bobby Miller's stuff and hitting 100 consistently plays better in the postseason than Lance Lynn's does. And Lance Lynn does not have a good postseason record. So it really just depends.
Yeah. But
I mean, whoever plays better down the stretch is going to get that
I
third spot.
feel much better about using 4 starting pitchers than I did a few weeks ago.
And you can, especially in the first round. There's 4, I think it's 3 or 4 days off in that first round.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah, there are.
So there's a game off. It's the game 1, day off. Game 2, game off. Game 3, Game 4, day off.
Yeah, no, it favors them, and it favors being able to get by with fewer starting pitchers. But I like the way they're going right now. I like the bullpen. Tell you what, the other guy I don't sleep on, Ryan Yarbrough, has been really good.
The whole team.
He's given up, I think, 1 earned run since he got here.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, and that's another guy that's going to have your long inning relievers. Like
Right.
you can have him
He can
go
be a bulk
2, 3
starter, right?
bulk starter. Yeah, so you can piggyback on somebody.
Right.
So like
open with Caleb Ferguson, then go 4 or 5 innings with Ryan Yarbrough, and then get to the deep of your bullpen.
I mean, if Walker Buehler comes back.
Right.
Bueller into Yarbrough.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's totally possible. All right, coming up next for you. John, I did something I've been talking about for a long time, and it finally happened, and I haven't told anybody here yet. Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It is very exciting in my life right now. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Sports Station
710 ESPN.
Is that a new thing?
I think so.
Yeah?
Played a bunch last
Have
week.
you signed off on the hashtag funny people?
I liked it.
Yeah.
You don't like it? Because
I
we
like
are
it.
hashtag
No,
funny
we are
people.
Hashtag funny people.
Well, maybe not you.
Ireland, you hashtag funny person?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. So I've been talking about this for a while, and ladies and gentlemen, it finally happened. Because I'm at the end of vacation, right? So now I'm here for a while. Don't me.
Yeah. By the way, after you went on your long, impassioned speech last week about how I will take this upcoming vacation and miss no other days, you missed the next 3 days.
No, but here's the thing. You can laugh, but I am right now. This is day one of what I say is going to be a 59 straight show streak.
Bergman, how much money am I allowed to bet Mythical Money that he will not
Let's
go
see.
59 days straight?
Let's see how much you have, because you can bet all of it, John.
I will.
No, don't bet all of it.
All
Save
of it.
Save some for football season.
No, you have $135,000, so you can go all the way up to it.
134,000 that Mason misses a day between now and when?
Wow.
Well, just the next 59 days, right?
Yeah,
So if he
59
misses
days.
a day for any reason, I win the bet, right?
You do. If he
Okay.
misses one day
One day, that's it.
in the next 59
And he
days.
can't say, well, it's the day before Thanksgiving. I'm not going to work, and blah, blah.
No, that
no.
doesn't get up to that.
Okay.
59 takes me to November the 10th.
Okay, I'm in.
There's for sure we're going to get a day in like
I know.
September.
Okay.
Or
Just
off.
to make Ireland lose his money. I am
he
not
might
going to do it.
He might do it. Okay, 100 grand even. I'll leave myself 35.
Yeah, you already put it in at 134.
I don't care. I'll bet at 135.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
yeah,
that
but then you got
confident.
nothing for football season.
I'll put it down to 100. I'll put it down to 100.
Put it at
for you.
100. Put it at 100. So
I'll
you
put
got
it down to 100 for you, but
afterwards.
if you miss, we're going to get one day where it's going to be like a
Nope.
random day
Nope.
in October.
Not happening.
Be like, it's
Not
going to be 10
happening.
o'clock in the morning,
Last
and it's
year-
like, I can't make it
Brad,
in today.
How long was my show streak last spring?
I don't know.
49. I did 49 last spring. I'm going to do 59. That would be a new record.
Okay.
That's Cal
God.
Ripken of radio.
Okay.
You just gave Ireland all of his money.
No.
I'm right back in it.
No, I feel good about it.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
So I've been talking about this for a while, and ladies and gentlemen, it has finally happened. Meet Veronica the dog.
All right, now, how did you get Veronica?
We went to a shelter
Okay.
called
What kind of dog is Veronica?
Animals Rule. She's a terrier something or other.
Okay.
And you know why she's named Veronica, right?
No.
Because I have one dog named Ron, and now I have one dog named Veronica.
Veronica Corningstone.
Veronica Corningstone.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Oh,
a movie
clever.
that Bergman hates.
It's not that I hate it. It just got so overhyped in my brain that I don't think it's that good anymore.
It's great.
Yeah.
The lines are better than the actual movie.
Somebody sent me a outtakes thing from that.
Oh, yeah?
I got to find it so I can send it to you guys. And Will Ferrell's just riffing. Like,
Yeah,
it's
right,
nothing on the
right.
script. And they couldn't use any of it because Paul Rudd was laughing so hard he couldn't stop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was very fun. I don't think it's anything we can play on the radio, by the way.
Oh, really?
It was like totally inappropriate
Totally, yeah.
bathroom humor.
All right. Hey, if you want 2 tickets to our exclusive Mason and Ireland LAFC pep rally and live broadcast on Friday, September 1st from 1 to 4 inside BMO Stadium at the Founders Club, be callers number 7 and 10. Right. Well, you can't be both. Be either caller number 7 or 10. Right now at 877-710-ESPN. You can win your way in. Fans in attendance got a chance to win LAFC versus Miami tickets to see Messi and autographed merchandise plus food and drinks. Listen all week for your chance to win. And right now, callers number 7 and 10 are in the party. 877-710-ESPN. So, have you watched much exhibition football? I don't even know what to do with exhibition football. It's always on in the background, but I'm not actually watching it.
Yeah, I've only watched various plays. Like, I haven't sat and watched a whole game. I hear a couple of things I've heard. I've heard that Stetson Bennett is fine as a backup quarterback.
Yeah, reasonably solid. From what I could see the other night, reasonably solid.
I've heard, Greg, that the Raiders are not as bad as we were thinking they were going to
today,
be.
Josh Jacobs has returned to camp. I told you Josh Jacobs would cave in and go to camp.
Yeah.
There he is.
Well,
right
that's
back
what I
in
would do
camp.
if I was him.
Oh, hell yes. You got no other choice. Yeah, they're not. And also, I heard that the Raiders' rookie quarterback has a chance to be the star.
Jimmy Garoppolo's backup.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo's
And
backup.
you know Jimmy G's going to miss 5 to 6 games anyway. He does every year.
Yeah. So
Same with Matt Stafford. By the way.
now, by the way, you don't believe they're tanking anymore. They're not tanking.
I don't know if they can with Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, and Jimmy G.
Correct.
I think it's a 6-win team minimum.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Rams.
You're in the in-between. I think the Rams can get out of the in-between and get to 7 and 9. 7 to 9 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say both the Rams and the Raiders are 6 to 9 wins tops.
Yeah.
6 is the ceiling, 9's the ceiling, 6 is the floor.
Yeah. I got very confident when I sat with Matthew Stafford. He's he's really a good guy. And
But availability is his issue.
Oh, sure it
let's see how many games he's going to play. And Here's the thing that I don't think most Ram fans talk about enough or realize. The reason the Rams were so bad last year, everybody points to injuries. Cooper Kupp getting hurt, Matthew Stafford getting hurt. The reason the Rams were so bad was their offensive line.
Yes.
It was terrible. And I'm not sure they've done enough to correct that. They are getting people back who were injured last year. But it's not like they went out and,
remember, top of the second round is where they took Steve Avila, the TCU kid, who's going to slot right in. They're not high on Logan Bruss, who I think was going to be there. Avila is going to, he'll be at left guard. Noteboom, who was hurt last year, Brian Allen, who was hurt last year, and Havenstein's still there.
Right.
So they still have the remnants of the offensive line, plus Steve Avila, the rookie.
Yeah, and you just hope someone in that group turns into Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Right now, there's no reason to think they have it. So that's what to watch.
I did think, by the way, Whitworth, I don't know if you watched any of the game on Saturday on Channel 7.
No.
Whitworth, it was Andrew Siciliano and Whitworth. Great broadcast. I thought Andrew Whitworth should be able to write his own ticket to being an NFL analyst. He is that good.
Well, I think Amazon already hired him.
Oh, yeah. But to be a studio guy, right? Not to call games.
Pre and post.
Yeah, pre and post. He should be calling games. He was great. He was great calling games. All right. So coming up next, where you're going
to before you go there, let me hit a couple teas. First of all, happy birthday shout out to Pepe Montilla.
Hey,
Pepe's birthday was yesterday. And I texted Michael. I said, "How old is Pepe?" And Michael writes back 2 numbers, 90. I don't think Pepe's 90, but Michael then tweeted he wished Pepe a happy 90th birthday.
Wow, Pepe, who has become he has become part of the fabric of the radio station.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And that's number one. Number two, so we're waiting to announce this. It could come as early as later today. Bergman and I, this is all filmed for social media, so it's going to come out. You were there when we did it.
Yes.
Bergman and I looked at 40-plus golf swings for people to play with us on Friday. And I just want to thank everybody who took the time to send in the swings. It was really fun to do, and they were really good.
The swings were amazing.
And we picked 2 winners and an alternate. You guys will see it all play out. We're in the process of contacting these people to make sure they can make
they're
it.
Available. Yeah.
And if 2 of them say yes, then we'll announce the whole thing. If they don't, we got to go back to the drawing board.
Right.
Okay.
But Greg,
we'll bring them on too.
Yeah, and Greg, I was really impressed with the swings and the creativity and everything. It was really good.
The creativity was really good, and every swing seemed to be right down the middle.
Well, except that one guy.
Well,
who
guy
you and I both said, this guy swings like us.
What? Did he hack?
He was very reminiscent of you.
Really?
Yeah. He just squirted the ball to the right. And then he got a mulligan, and then he did it again.
Yeah, no details, but at some point I am going to be put through my paces on the golf course again, John.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
It's coming up. Oh, there's details. We can
talk
about it at the golf tournament.
Okay, so at our
8th.
station golf tournament, this is the way it's going to work. I don't know if you're on this memo chain or not.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
So it is you and Bergman versus me and station owner Sam Pines, who apparently can play.
I've played with Sam.
Okay. So it is you guys versus us guys.
You have no chance.
And it is, we're playing all 4 par 3s at Black Gold. Now, why do we have no chance? I heard Sam is really good.
He is good. But we have 2 players and you have 1.
And it's best ball, right?
Yeah.
You know what you're forgetting? I'm a really good putter.
Yeah, but you have,
I drained a couple of really long putts.
You have to get the ball on the green
That's
first.
Sam's job.
No, it's not a scramble.
No, it's a best ball.
Best ball means you play your own ball.
I thought you only play the best ball.
Correct. No, there's a difference between a scramble and a best ball. Best ball is you play your ball, Sam plays his, you throw out the worst one.
Oh,
but you got to play your own ball.
Yeah.
But scramble would be you guys each tee off and you just both go to the best shot.
Right.
We're not doing a scramble. We're doing a best ball.
Do we have? It's not a scramble.
No, it's best ball.
It's best ball.
So it's Greg and I against Sam, basically, unless you pull it.
Although I'm going back to play some par 3. I'm going back to play.
Well, you got that course not far from your house. Rancho has a good par 3
I got
course.
Rancho Park got a very good par 3.
I played Black Gold on Saturday.
How'd you do on the par 3s?
I did well in the par 3s. It was the other ones that were the problem.
Well, we don't care about those.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so those par 3s are hard, by the way.
Terranea,
yeah.
All par 3s.
I know. I love that.
So
Terranea is all par 3s?
Better with my irons.
Oh, I love a good executive course. Now, I heard the par 3s are not easy to hit the green at Black Gold.
They're not.
Some are and some aren't.
Some are.
No,
and some
all
aren't.
of them are pretty
Yeah,
difficult.
Bergman says Bergman's never hit a green there.
No, I did on Saturday.
Yeah, on a par 3, did you hit a green?
Yeah.
There's one.
I put it right in the middle.
There's one that's
did.
pretty
Morales.
easy on the front 9.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy. There's one on the first one, Greg, that's that uphill par 3 that it's kind of short, you hit right to it. The second one that you have to hit over the canyon, I think it's hole number 8.
Oh,
Yeah,
is there a
You got
carry
no
on
shot.
one of these?
Yeah, you got no shot
I have
on
no
that one.
chance. I can't clear the carry.
And there's one that's on the back 9 that is just it's impossible. I go to the right every single time. It's very, very difficult.
I need clubs, by the
15.
way. Is
Morales
Morales
can get your
round
clubs.
up clubs? Yeah, because I want to go out this weekend to par 3.
Yeah, you can get your clubs.
Swing away. All right, coming up next for you, going to spin the wheel of questions. Interesting stuff on there. 2 o'clock call of the day is coming up. Be thinking up something good to say. Mesa in Ireland, 710 ESPN. And let me tell you about Amazon. So if you own I love this program, by the way. If you own a business, there's a way you can make some extra money with Amazon Hub Delivery. So here's how it works. Every day, Amazon delivers packages to your business. Then you and your staff deliver them, and you get paid for every package you deliver with weekly direct deposits. You don't need any experience. You don't need to sign a long-term contract. And if you refer another small business, you get $500. Get some extra income for you and your business. Again, Amazon Hub Delivery. Go to Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. Great way for you and your business to make some extra money. Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. Check them out now. Mesa in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
All right, there it is, Brian. And this is somewhat timely. Imagine that a director wants to make a movie on your life. It will make you rich and famous, but you don't have a thing to say about what the director includes in the film. So all the things that are included will be the actual, true, accurate story of you. Would you do it?
Sure.
There's nothing in your background that you'd say, ooh.
Oh, there's a lot. But
you'd be okay with
but
it?
I get it's going to be a success, and it's going to be, yeah. I make no apologies for mistakes I've made. I mean, I've made them. You just live with them,
Right.
Like that time I told Dave Miller, if the Lakers lose this game, I'm going to walk home from Cleveland, and
Yes.
they lost.
True.
And I ended up making $45,000 for Autism Speaks.
Yeah, right,
doing
right.
everything. But or like when I got Shaq suspended for a game, but when he said to me, he
got you suspended. No, you got him suspended.
I walked up to him after a game,
Yep.
and I said, Shaq, this game was really close. But if you just go on YouTube and type in Shaq swears,
Yeah.
it's all on there.
Yep.
And the next day he got suspended, and people would bet. Joe McDonald came on the air and said I should be fired, and
Yeah.
But
So it's interesting.
good, bad, the stuff about me and you breaking up, they would all be in there.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
You would be okay. Okay, Bergman, good, bad, and ugly. Think about, all of your worst moments, your
Oh no, I know my worst moments.
Okay. So
do you want to relive them?
Would you?
Do I want to? No, absolutely not. So I like the persona that I have on the air.
Yeah.
I don't need to know people to know what I really do. That's all. That's my
Really?
own life.
So you're passing on the Greg Bergman biopic.
Yeah, that's not necessary.
Yeah, Greg's
That's
life,
a
by
bad-
the way, exists in an alternate universe
That-
where he's dating all kinds.
You
of
know
women
nothing,
all the
and
time.
I
know
show
you
nothing.
haven't told me anything, but I'm sure there's a whole different life out there.
I'm normal. I'm just what I am. on the
Brian.
edge.
What about the?
I would not use the word normal, but go ahead.
What about the Brian Cohen story? Would you welcome a director to do a completely unvarnished version of your life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know how exciting it would be, but yeah, I'd open to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think about biopics. They're not the best ones. Aren't always flattering. Ray, for which Jamie Foxx won Best Actor.
Best Actor, right?
Playing Ray Charles is not a love story.
No.
I mean, he talks the drug abuse, the womanizing, all of it.
Right.
Is all in there.
And that was, by the way, the Ray Charles estate that said, okay, yes, you can make this movie and we'll allow you to use the music and all that stuff. Now, I personally would, because, I like attention, and I think this would have a lot of attention. I do have some deep, dark secrets. No, I don't.
Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But
back in the day, you wanted people to see how you just treated everyone poorly here?
But as long as they showed
as
that
long
you
as,
evolved.
As long as it's a redemption story.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, a redemption
that's good,
story.
that's
good. All right, so I asked this in part because there are people that we know who are going through this right now. There is an unvarnished, based on reality miniseries or series on HBO called Winning Time. And last night we saw episode 3. Now, I obviously, the people in that series, whether it be Jerry West or whoever, not entirely happy, not happy at all necessarily.
I got a
with what's
text
going
from
on.
someone in the league that says Larry Bird's unhappy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But about the way he's been portrayed. But I will say this. I every time we talk about Winning Time, I got to be a little careful because there are people at the Lakers that just hate the way they're being portrayed.
Right.
So I want to be sensitive to them. But man, is it entertaining?
Oh, it is.
It
so
is
entertaining.
just like
the guy that's playing
by the
Larry
way-
Bird. It is insane. That is Larry Bird.
Right. Well, that's the home run for this thing was the casting.
Yes.
Without saying that they're getting everything right because they're not.
Right.
The guys they got to play Magic and Kareem are stunning. The guy they got to play Bird is stunning.
The guy
I like the guy playing Bill Sharman. I think Adrian Brody's pretty good as
By the
Pat
way,
Riley.
Michael Chiklis is awesome as Red Auerbach.
Right. Now, having said that,
Yeah.
this is going back to your wheel of questions.
Okay.
We're going to have Mac. By the way, when I was driving home on my 17-hour drive, I listened to the podcast, the Culture Pop podcast that you and Sue Kalinsky did with Max Bornstein, who is one of the creators, one of the lead writers, one of the head executive producers. It's him and Adam McKay and a guy named Jim Hecht. And these guys all took Jeff Pearlman's book and based Winning Time on Jeff's book.
Right.
One of the first things I'll ask Max, I think we're going to get him on Wednesday.
Wednesday at 2:15.
Okay. And Max grew up in L.A. and is a huge Laker fan. I really enjoyed his back and forth with you. And one of the things he explains, and we'll ask him about it again on Wednesday, is they researched meticulously to to prove everything they could. But when you're doing a series, you can't always stick straight to the book. Jeff's book is 100% factual.
Yes.
Winning Time is not. Winning Time is like this, for example. Dr. Buss is dating a woman named Honey right now on Winning
Honey.
Time. Honey is mythical.
There is no Honey?
There is no Honey. It's a composite of all the women
Okay.
that Jerry Buss would use today. The Monopoly games. I'm not sure that Dr. Buss ever blew up at the kids during Monopoly, but they did play Monopoly.
Right, they did.
And it was
Right, and by the way, and this is where sort of, and we'll talk, it's in the podcast, and we'll talk a little bit about Max. The way I tried to go into the way they invented that Monopoly scene, how it started with, we know they like Monopoly.
Right.
Everything else was imagined. This argument that developed, and Jerry throwing the board on all that stuff was invented under the guise that they like Monopoly.
Right, but isn't that okay though? Like I'm aware, I'm well aware, and I love watching it despite all of that.
But, me too.
Like, I know it's not real.
Greg, the equivalent would be somebody does a Mason and Ireland TV series, and they get guys that look just like Mason and I.
Sure. Yeah.
And they make up, like we argue all the time.
Yeah.
But they make up an argument and just write it out of the blue.
They make it so like you hate each other off the air.
Right.
Oh,
or
that's
even on the air.
Yeah.
And so if anybody would ask me about it, and I think this is the box that
I'll be Mad Dog. You be Francesa. Let's break up.
Right. and so it'd be one of those deals. But let me focus on some things that I like about Winning Time, because I think there are a lot of likable things, and I can't wait to talk to Max, who I think has invented this world along with his co-creators that is incredibly fun to visit.
Yep.
For example, I love the Open. I think the Open to Winning Time is I used to love the Open to Succession, which was also an Adam McKay project.
Right.
The Open to Winning Time and the way it takes you back. Max talked about this on your podcast. When I started in TV news, all of the cameras were made by this company called Ikegami. And everybody, if you worked at a good station, you had Ikegamis as, your cameras. And it's very emblematic of that time period.
Right.
But the way they make Los Angeles look in the 80s is exactly how I remember it. I don't know how they're doing it, but they take you back to this place.
Yep.
Keep in mind, Mace, we haven't gotten there yet in Winning Time, but in the 80s, both the Dodgers and the Lakers were Camelot. In 88, they both won titles.
Right.
The Dodgers and the Lakers both won titles. And so it's a really fun thing to revisit. That's one of the things I like. Here's another thing I like.
Okay.
I like that Linda, Jeannie, and Lon Rosen, you get to see how they all started. Because they're the three young workers at the Forum that have now, like, obviously, Jeannie and Linda run the Lakers now. Lon runs the Dodgers. That's how they began. And Lon and Magic are like best friends. You saw a scene last night where Lon goes to Magic and says, "Look, Magic is back.
Right.
I got these T-shirts. I'm going to hand it." And Magic is like, "No, you got to get those out of here. It's going to make the other guys on the team mad." I haven't talked to Lon about this, about how he's portrayed, but I like the fact that those three, Jeannie, Linda, and Lon, are getting credit for being on the ground floor and working their way up. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. I also think that the story, and if you've watched episode 1, you know where this thing is going because we saw the beginning of where it's going in episode 1. So the one thing I like is that they're building out the Celtics side of this.
Right.
So it's going to,
and Max talked about that on your pod.
Yeah, it's like really good because it's going to make it a richer story. The fact that you've built out Larry Bird's story, who apparently hates it, and you've built out. Has Magic said anything about this?
The only thing I've seen him say on camera is, if you want, because he did a doc.
Right.
They Call Me Magic, and then Hulu did the Lakers Dynasty doc. And Magic says, "I'd rather hear from the people who actually lived it."
Right.
So he's hesitant to throw a bunch of praise on Winning Time. But this kid, Quincy Isaiah, that plays Magic, looks like him, sounds like him. They just did such a good job in casting. And it's just really fun to go back and revisit those years.
It is.
Because people forget. All right, 1980, Lakers Sixers in the finals.
Right.
81, Celtics win it. 82, Lakers win it. 83, Lakers, Sixers in the finals. That's the 1 year the Sixers snuck in there.
Yep.
84, Lakers, Celtics.
And
Celtics win.
By the way, and I think that's the series that is going to wrap up the show, isn't it?
I don't know.
They started at 2004 before the NBA Finals. 84 before the NBA Finals.
Right.
So the question is, do they go back to that and just see the Celtics beat the Lakers, or do they go back and go all the way through the next year?
Well, what's interesting is, according to Jeff Pearlman, who I follow on Twitter, Season 3 has not been greenlit.
Oh, interesting.
He says that unless they get numbers, you guys can all go read Jeff's tweets.
Sure.
He seems concerned, and it could just be paranoia as one of the creators, and they're based on this, but he seems concerned that if they don't get enough ratings, they're not going to have a Season 3.
Got it.
I hope that's not true.
Yeah.
But he keeps hinting that that's the case.
Interesting.
Like you got to spread the word. You got to get people to watch. You got to, because HBO hasn't made a decision yet. But again, going back to the 80s. So 84, where you're mentioning.
Yeah.
84 Lakers Celtics, 85 Lakers Celtics, 86 Celtics win, 87 Lakers win, 88 Lakers win. So from 1980 through 1988, it was either the Celtics
Philly
or the Lakers, except for the Sixers 1 year. And then the Pistons come along in 89 and flip the script. But that's how dominant the Lakers and Celtics were in that 8-year stretch in the 80s, and that's right where winning time is.
Exactly.
And it's just so fun to watch.
Yeah, it really is. And John C. Reilly, I don't know how that guy didn't get nominated for awards for that role, because he's fantastic as Dr. Buss. All right, coming up next, we're going to spin the wheel of questions. How was the wheel while we were gone,
We're not
Brian?
spinning the wheel. We're doing a 2
I'm
o'clock.
sorry,
We already
the
did
2 o'clock
that.
call of the day. Hey, easy now. It's my first day back.
But you've been doing it forever.
It's all right.
All right.
Lighten up. It's my first day back. I don't need a bunch of crap.
This is why you have to work 59 days in a row.
59 shows in a row. All right,
Just put that money in my account right now.
So we're going to do
already.
2 o'clock call today. Trust me, it's happening.
All right.
Kyle Ripken of radio. 59 straight shows. What will you say about me if I do 59
I will say, here's
shows?
$100,000 in mythical money.
All right, there you go. Okay, so 2 o'clock call today, 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-ESPN. And don't forget that we are having a big pep rally at LAFC right there at BMO Stadium. Coming up on September the 1st from 1 to 4. It's in the Founders Club, and your chance to win is coming soon. Your chance to be part of the party and be part of the arrival of Lionel Messi. 877-710-ESPN for 2 o'clock call today. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
and John Ireland, as a Raiders fan, I feel like year after year, your heart just get crushed. And I mean, obviously we know the Angels suck, yada, yada. I listen to you guys every day. I know. But how do you do it? How do you ride through it, supporting your team, even though, every year it's basically the same outcome?
Well, you can't fire the owner is
Yes.
the problem with both of those teams.
He is the constant. He is there every year they screw it up.
So there's something. My mom is a big Angels fan, Brandon. There's nothing wrong with being an Angels fan. I think they have a fun team to watch. But as long as they have that owner, winning's going to be a problem because he keeps getting in the way.
Right.
And let me ask you this, Brandon. Would you think? What percentage chance do you have in your own head that Ohtani is going to come back to the Angels?
It's like, honestly, slim to none, and that's why I think I've called him before. I think my main goal is just try to watch him as much as I can while he's here and just appreciate the greatness. And really, that's the only reason why I go to games is to watch him. I mean, Rendon's done. Trout is just kind of on his way out as far as, like, injuries now. It's been plagued all the time. And the young guys. Honestly, I think Perry's doing a great job, and so I hope Artie doesn't mess that up because clearly Perry's, like, the winning key. He's brought in, you look at Ohapi, we just brought up Shanuel, Neto, like the young guys he's bringing in versus the Epler guys. The Epler guys are just kind of trash, and I think Perry's doing the right thing. So
right. Well, what you want to, Brandon, what you want to root for with Perry Manassian is that Artie doesn't blow him out because Artie blew out Jerry Dipoto, he blew out Billy Epler, he blew out Tony Regans. Artie tends to make decisions and then blame the GM for him. He blew out Joe Madden.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, so that's if you can survive Hurricane Artie,
yes,
you've got a chance. But there has been very little to indicate that Artie will get out of the way
and will not sell the team, which I know Angel fans were really excited about when he put him on the market last year.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Brandon, for the phone call. I'm not rooting against.
By the way, isn't it weird that because of Ohtani, we've talked so much Angels this year?
Right. Well, he's
the best. He's the best thing they've ever had.
Take that call from John in Vegas on line 2.
Okay. John in Vegas, what's up, man? Don't ask us how we're doing.
Welcome back from vacation.
Thank you, John.
So I've been getting in a debate with different people buying NFL jerseys, and I'm a firm believer, whether it's NFL, baseball, NBA, whatever it is, that you only buy Hall of Fame jerseys.
Amen.
My Laker jersey is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. My Dodger jersey is Sandy Koufax. Now, I do believe there is only one exception to this rule,
okay,
and I want to know if you guys can figure out what it is, and it is an NFL player.
Yeah, I've got a shot I will take. Aaron Donald.
John?
One NFL player. It's an active NFL player?
No.
Oh, I thought it was an active NFL player. Okay, so it's a retired
But he's
guy.
not a Hall of Famer is what you're getting at, John,
But
right?
He's not a Hall of Famer, but he is the only person that I think is acceptable to, based off my rule of a Hall of Famer.
All right, I'm going to take a shot, John. Pat Tillman.
Oh, that's fantastic. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
But that's not the answer you were looking for.
I was going to say, what about Eli Manning?
Bo Jackson.
Bo.
Yeah,
Jackson.
that is very good.
That is good. Yeah.
But by the way, John, I'm glad you brought this up because I've been arguing with this forever. Like Jorge, George Briones, has 100 jerseys. He's a big jersey guy.
Stupid 49er jerseys.
Yeah,
they suck.
a lot of them.
Yeah, they suck.
But what I would always do if you're going to invest money in a jersey, like imagine if you last year bought an Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers jersey.
Right.
It's pretty much weird
Useless
to wear
now.
to a
Yeah.
game now.
Yeah.
I would always, and for every team, there is a jersey you could buy that would be really cool. Like you said Sandy Koufax, John, except the Clippers.
except the Clippers. No Michael Cage jerseys out there.
Right. So for me, if you said to me, I've got one for every team. Like if you said Dodgers to me, I would go Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
I think that's timeless.
Yeah.
You can wear it forever. If you said Rams, I'm going Deacon Jones.
Deacon Jones is a great one, and played in L.A. too.
Yeah, which would never be a bad thing. You give me Angels, I'm going Nolan Ryan.
Yeah,
All right?
that's a good one.
You give me Lakers, you can go. For me, I'm going Worthy because that's my guy, but you can go Magic, Kareem, Worthy, either Kobe, Shaq, any of them. But if you buy a jersey of a current player and then that player walks on you, you only have yourself to blame because there's tons of options.
Although in the case of the Rams, because Aaron Donald is arguably the greatest defensive tackle to ever play the game and is a first ballot Hall of Famer, I think wearing an Aaron Donald jersey still works.
It would, but let's say, like we've talked a lot about this Caleb Williams thing.
Yeah.
Let's say Cincinnati, Joe Burrow is injured. Thanks, John, for the phone call.
John.
Joe Burrow, his injury's worse than we know.
Okay.
He misses 10 games.
Right.
And the Bengals finish last. Finish with the worst record in the NFL. They're not taking Caleb because they have Joe Burrow.
Correct.
The Rams could trade with the Bengals, and let's say they trade him Aaron Donald. They trade him Aaron Donald for the number 1 pick. It's a good trade for both teams.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's ready to win now.
Yeah.
The Rams would be ramping up. I mean, Aaron would have to want it. But then all of a sudden, your Aaron Donald Rams jersey is kind of weird at games because Caleb's there, but Aaron isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's other Rams you could.
There are lots of Rams you can choose from.
I mean, you could do Marshall Faulk.
You can do Eric Dickerson.
Right.
You can do. I mean, there are lots of Rams you can.
Jack Youngblood's a great one.
Jack Youngblood.
Fred Dreyer would be really cool.
Hacksaw Reynolds would be great. I mean, they're great old school Rams. Lawrence McCutcheon, who was my favorite player from the 70s. I used to love Lawrence McCutcheon.
Yeah,
Ran for 100 yards every year. Made the playoffs with Chuck Knox. Got eliminated by Minnesota. Or Dallas, one or the other.
Every year.
Yeah, literally every year.
But the buying a jersey thing, I think that guy's right. John in Vegas is right. You want to go Hall of Fame, like any team you can think of. Like if I was a Lions fan, the Lions are really good this year. I'd get a Barry Sanders jersey and wear it to Lions games. That's a great thing. You know, if you go to Cowboys, you could go Troy Aikman or Michael Irvin or Emmitt Smith, any of those guys, rather than a current person.
Right.
You know, there's always somebody in the history of a franchise whose jersey would be cool to wear now.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
It's iconic. Yeah.
And that's like Jets. Everybody's into the Jets. If you made me buy a Jets jersey, I'd buy Joe Namath.
Yeah.
You know, you wear Namath to a Jets game now, it's great.
Yeah, no, you're right.
By the way, Bergman, look this up.
Okay. What am I looking up?
Is Aaron Rodgers going to wear number 12?
No, I think he's number 8.
Yeah, I think he changed.
Oh, wait a minute. Or was he number 8 before?
No, he was 12.
Yeah, he was 12. I
always
think
been
he's gone 12.
But he's going to go 8?
Yeah, they have 8.
I think so, yeah.
He's on 8.
Because Joe Namath's jersey's retired.
Right. So he can't wear that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to throw something at you. So John, I was at Terranea, and the lady who was working the pool, lovely person, she had a couple of trivia questions. She said, "Would you like to try some trivia?"
Okay.
And this is one of her questions, and I almost got it. So there are only 3 male rockers who sold $100 million as a group and $100 million as a solo artist. 3 male rockers sold $100 million in a group and $100 million as a solo act.
All right, Bergman, I'm gonna bounce these off you before I officially answer him. All right, one I figure is Prince. Prince in the Revolution, Prince as a solo artist.
Yeah,
what
that
do you
makes
think?
sense. Yeah.
All right, that's my first guess. Okay.
Now,
Really? Wait, give me the premise one more time.
3 male rockers who sold $100 million as a group and $100 million as a solo artist.
All right, now how about this?
Eric Clapton?
Paul McCartney?
Well, but no. Oh,
100 million with the Beatles.
I don't know about the solo act.
Oh, come on.
All right, I mean, that's
All right, Paul McCartney.
Yeah, Paul McCartney's one of them. Yeah, Wings and all the stuff McCartney did
Wings.
after. Yeah.
All right,
wait,
so
but
we have
Wings
one.
is a group.
We have one strike.
Correct. In other words, as a solo artist and as a group.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So let's. How about this?
You don't think
Michael
Eric Clapton?
Jackson.
Michael
Jackson
yes,
5.
Yeah, Jackson
Michael
5.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
one of them. That's the last one is tough.
Okay. What era?
It would be 80s, mid 80s, early
right.
to mid 80s.
All right. Don Henley.
Oh, what about Don Henley? That could be a good one. What about Phil Collins?
Oh, that's good. Phil Collins.
Yeah, how about that?
Bergman.
How
Good call,
about
Bergman.
that?
Oh, that is
Genesis and Phil Collins. Come on,
that
man.
is strong, Greg.
Yeah, that was a really great call. That's the one I could not get.
No?
I kept guessing.
I'm very proud of us not striking out there because
That
once I
was
missed on Prince, I thought, oh boy, this is over my head.
And by the way, I did try Don Henley. I thought Don Henley was a pretty good guess, but it didn't sell enough as an individual act to be on the list. But yeah, that's from the lady at Taranea.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I like that. All right, John, I want to tell you if this is overly harsh.
Okay.
So this is Mike Lombardi, who is on, I don't know, what's he on?
I think he's on the Ringer and he's on the NFL Network, and I like him. He's
Okay.
good.
So this is what he said about San Francisco, I guess, backup quarterback, Trey Lance.
As you go down this road with Lance, it just becomes harder and harder and harder. And you could show all the clips of him moving and all that stuff. At the end of the day, when his mama lifted him from the crib, he just didn't have that quarterback instinct. He is not going to be the backup quarterback. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but there's no chance. There is no chance based on the evidence that I've seen and based on what I've heard.
Michael, I asked
And by
you
the
this.
way, they traded up for him.
Right.
Now, when you get into your mama picked you up in the crib and you don't know how to play football, that whole thing, that feels personal to me. Or is it just an expression?
I think it's just an expression.
Yeah.
And I think that one thing, I remember when I was starting out doing play-by-play.
Yep.
And I had a good relationship with Chick Hearn.
Right.
And I got the Clipper job.
Yep.
And Chick came to me and he said, Marge and I were driving home the other day. We were listening to you do the game. Can I give you a couple of tips? I said, what, are you kidding?
Right.
Of course. It's like me going to see Yoda.
Yeah, right.
And he told me, you never give the time in the. He goes, you can never give the time in the score too much. He goes, if you get lost, mention the time in the score.
Right.
He goes, if you haven't said it in a while, mention the time in the score.
Yeah, yeah.
He goes, I cannot tell you how many people say, I wish you would give the score more. And I do it to a fault. I'm giving the score.
No. You
time.
do not do it to a fault because people, like, for example, I am tuning in on the radio sometimes when I'm going somewhere, and the first thing I want to know is who's winning and what's the score. So
Right.
I don't think you can give it too
Well,
much.
and there are various ways you can do it. For example, you can start, like, if the Lakers are bringing the ball up, you could say, Lakers lead 40-34. Here's LeBron dribbling left, throws it into AD, shoots, misses.
Yep.
Lakers lead by 6.
Yep.
Here comes Cleveland. Back the other way, still in and out, no good. Still a 6-point Laker lead. Here comes like you can mention the score different ways,
Right.
But the other thing he told me was interesting. He goes, I know you've been on TV for a long time. He said, but you are now officially in the public domain. He said, you are going to be criticized every single day. He goes, sometimes you'll deserve it.
Yep.
Sometimes you won't deserve it. He said, you can't let it affect you. Do the best job you can do, anonymous of the criticism. He goes, the criticism is going to be there every day. You can work what you think was the best game you've ever done.
Right.
And people will still criticize you. I think once Trey Lance, they traded up for him.
Yep.
Once he got into that, he's in that boat now.
Yeah.
He's going to be criticized if he doesn't play well. Now, over the weekend.
He may not even be the backup.
Right, because they have Sam Darnold.
Right.
And they like Brock Purdy.
Yes. Brock Purdy's definitely going to be the guy.
But over the weekend, Trey Lance apparently had a pretty good game. So maybe, I think most teams are going to keep 3. You need 3.
The Rams never keep 3.
Well, they have a clipboard holder. He's like not, you can, don't they have that rule that once you activate the third quarterback, you can't bring the number 1 guy back in?
God,
I think most teams have a clipboard holder that's like on the taxi squad, but he's dressed.
Right.
Because
he's
so
an
many
emergency
quarterbacks. Right.
break
But if you
quarterback.
play him,
right,
then you can't bring the
but
number 1
last
guy
year, did
back.
San Francisco go through 3 quarterbacks before they got to Christian McCaffrey in the NFC Championship?
Yeah, remember they had Josh
right?
Jackson, the old veteran guy, but sitting there back. I think he ended up playing most of that game. But you're not always going to hit.
Right.
John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have put together a great roster.
Yeah,
they
they
may
have.
have missed on Trey Lance. They did, like the Rams moved heaven and earth to get Jared Goff, only to trade him a few years later.
Yeah.
So
he did get him to a Super Bowl. I
Right.
like to point that out.
Right. But I don't think, to answer your original question, I don't think it was overly harsh. I think
Right.
guys who get into the public domain, you better be ready to get criticized.
Trey Lance doesn't work out. You know what I say? What a shame for the 49ers. That is just a shame.
I almost think the 49ers might have too much talent. Remember a few years ago, the Eagles built kind of a super team.
Right.
They spent a lot of money and signed Namandi Asamoah, who was a key guy in the Raiders.
Sure.
And they, that was that team that had Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson, and they were loaded. I think Chip Kelly was their coach. And they just never popped. It's possible the Niners might be too top heavy. We'll see. We'll see.
I hope they crash and burn. You know what really sucks, by the way? Actually, I'll tell you what really sucks next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Hey, ESPN LA listeners, it's John Ireland. You want to
So Al and I are teaming up for your chance to win an entire office full of lunch from Waba Grill. So you're going to want to be listening all day during the 12 o'clock lunch hour for your cue to call to pick up food for the entire office, courtesy of Waba Grill.
We got some ribeye, we got some chicken, we got some shrimp.
I'm making it sound like I cooked them myself. Look at these boom boom tacos.
You can visit wabagrill.com. You can order online. Just go on in, get yourself some of these tacos. Visit your local Waba Grill location. Of course, walk right in. Of course, you can order online for delivery or pickup. Waba Grill, right? Eat smart, be healthy. Boom boom, kaboom.
In Ireland, your Monday. Welcome back, Steve and John. Mason made a proclamation today earlier on the show, which we know has no chance of happening.
By the way, after you went on your long, impassioned speech last week about how I will take this upcoming vacation and miss no other days, you miss the next 3 days.
No, but here's the thing. You can laugh, but I am right now. This is day one of what I say is going to be a 59 straight show streak.
Bergman, how much money am I allowed to bet Mythical Money that he will not go 59 days straight?
59 days, impossible.
59
Meanwhile, Mason
days.
in Ireland continues. Your Monday afternoon right now.
I gotta say, I like the ambition involved here.
Ambition.
I like that you gotta swing big, and you are swinging big there, my friend.
59.
Hey,
Maybe a little too big.
yeah. Before you tell me what's pissing you off,
Oh, yeah.
can I do 2 quick shout-outs?
Yeah.
All right. First one, El Segundo Little League.
Yeah, I know. This
All right.
afternoon.
4 o'clock this afternoon on ESPN 2.
Versus
Texas.
Right.
Now, the manager of this team is a guy named Danny who used to own a restaurant in Manhattan Beach called Fonz's.
Okay.
Which is a great restaurant, and Danny's son is on the team.
Nice.
But these kids practice and play less than a mile from the Lakers practice
Wow.
facility, and they are one of the favorites in Williamsport, and they have their first big game at 4 o'clock today on ESPN2.
Now, is this single elimination? Are they
I think
reached
so.
single elimination?
I think so. Greg, do you know? Is it single or double?
I can never figure out how they
don't.
work the
I
little.
believe it's still in the pool play.
They're still in
So
pool
they
play?
could
believe so,
lose and
yeah.
they'd still be alive?
I think so.
Okay.
Well,
that's
somebody will tell
from
us.
our Little League
All right.
World Series authority, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Big
here's a super cool story.
Okay.
I mentioned Fonz's,
Yeah.
which used to be a restaurant in Manhattan Beach that that all of us used to go to.
Yeah.
My favorite restaurant in Manhattan Beach, you guys have heard me talk about it a million times, is a place called Slay.
Yeah, I've never been invited.
All right. Lisa and I went in there on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's owned by a guy named David Slay. He's the owner. He's the chef. He is a great guy. You've met him.
I met him at a Rams game, yeah.
You've met him. One of my favorite guys in Manhattan Beach. David now owns 4 restaurants, including 3 in Manhattan Beach. And so Lisa and I are in there, and he comes over and sits down next to us. He goes, I got a great story to tell you.
Okay.
And I said, okay. He goes, last weekend, older couple.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in, they're dressed up. Guy's wearing a coat and tie. Woman's dressed up. She's wearing pearls.
Yep.
And I go over. He's a really good restaurant owner. He'll pop in and say hi to every patron. And all right. So he walks in, sits down. He goes, hey, I'm David. I'm the owner. Can I get you anything? And the guy said, well, we're just really excited to be here. And David said, well, how'd you hear about us? And they said, we listen to Mason in Ireland every day. And John always talks about how this is his favorite spot. So I wrote it down on a Post-it note, and I put it on the refrigerator.
Yep.
And I said, next year for our anniversary, that's where we're going. So last weekend was their anniversary.
Yep.
And David said they could not be nicer.
Aw.
So if you're that couple and one of you is listening, connect with us because I'd love to hear more about it. But David said they could not have been nicer.
That's cool.
And it was all based because they listened to us.
Yeah.
So I love that story.
Real quick, just on that nugget before you go. So I was in the jacuzzi at Terranea, and somebody came up and said, hey, you're Steve Mason. I said, yes. And he said, you know, the reason we're here is because John Ireland talks about Terranea so much.
Incessantly.
Yeah. So that's the reason why those folks tried Terranea. So
Advertising works, ladies and gentlemen.
Ralph, you're killing it.
But if you guys are looking for a place to try, you can't. Slay, he owns 4 places. I like the Fish and Chop House, but there's Slay Italian.
Yep.
There's a place called Fett, which is a bistro.
Yep.
He's opened up another place in Redondo. But I love that story that an older couple went in there for their anniversary, and he said they had a great dinner and they couldn't have been nicer. So good for them.
So go ahead. You have a second one.
No, I was going to. That was it.
Oh, okay. That was it.
David Slay, and then the shout out to the El Segundo Little League. Go El Segundo.
Okay, so here's a weird little nugget on meeting David Slay. So I saw him with Grant Stevens, right?
Okay. Yeah, Grant. I see Grant in that restaurant a lot.
Okay, and a third guy. So I start talking to I talked to David, I talked to Grant, and I start talking to the third guy. I'm like, so what do you do? He said, well, I was on Broadway, but now I'm a divorce attorney. I'm like, you went from Broadway to divorce attorney. What were you in on Broadway? He said, I won the Tony for Les Miserables. I'm like, you're kidding me.
What?
You're kidding. I was like, you are kidding me. And
it's a pretty big deal.
Now he's a divorce attorney.
Well, good for him. My buddy Paul Franklin, shout out to Paul, says a Little League World Series is double elimination. So you were right, Brian. They can lose and still keep going, but we don't want any losses.
No losses.
Go get a win, El Segundo.
Yeah, we're all El Segundans today. All right, so, John, this is what pisses me off. The Rams open on Sunday, September 10th at Seattle.
Okay.
Then they come home for the home opener.
Is that on the 17th?
On the 17th. Do you know who it is?
I hope it's not the Niners that early.
Effing Niners.
Really, that early?
Effing
Normally
Niners.
they play them late.
Yeah, they do. They do. And this means we're going to have to deal with this, all the red in the stadium and where Levi, all you Niner fans. It's like I'm saying screw you in advance.
All right, so let me ask you an honest question.
Yeah.
Honest question.
Yeah.
A Niner fan, Jorge Briones, offers you triple face for your tickets for that game because he really wants to go and he really wants good seats. Triple face. So it would cover you for not only that game, but basically a fourth of your season.
Yeah.
Do you consider it?
Yeah. But I would buy tickets. I would take them.
You would take the money and buy other seats.
Yeah, I'm going to be at that game no matter what.
That's the smart play.
But 3 times the price, 3 times face.
Because
no,
that's what the Niner fans do. They say we got to be there.
Yeah.
So I would put your tickets on the exchange just to see what you can get. If you don't get a price that you like,
right?
I'm assuming they have a ticket exchange like the Lakers do.
Oh
right?
yeah, they do. They do. We sold our preseason tickets,
right,
in our parking.
So why not see if somebody like Jorge is dumb enough to pay a ridiculous amount of money, and like you say, then just turn around and buy other seats.
Yeah. All right, so John, this is the craziest preseason stat that I've ever seen. The Baltimore Ravens.
I saw this. How did I not know about
this? Have a 24-game preseason winning streak. They've won 24 consecutive preseason games.
Okay, so
now,
this flies.
Does John Harbaugh just care more than everybody else?
All right, this flies in the face of what I always used to think. So one day I'm flying to Vegas, and I run into Dave Bryan, the political reporter for KCBS KCAL.
Right.
Great guy.
Yep.
And I said, "So what are you doing, man? Why are you going to Vegas?" He goes, "I do it every year. I go to bet preseason football."
Supposedly you can make a lot of money
And
doing
I said, "Why don't you just roll your window down and throw your money out the
Yeah.
window?" I go, "Nobody's playing." He goes, No. He goes, "If you study this, there are a handful of coaches who care, and there are a handful of coaches who could care less. Sean McVay's and he could care less if they win.
Yep.
But 24 in a row.
Yep.
I wonder if that's reflected in the point spreads now. You know, like
I would imagine a winning streak during. But don't you think? I remember Dennis Green.
I would feel really stupid betting preseason football, wouldn't you? Dave did it, and I haven't talked to him in years, but he probably still does it. He said this is the easiest way to make money.
Yeah, everybody. I mean, the hardcore gamblers say that. I would feel stupid betting preseason, but I'll tell you, I would probably put a little money on the Ravens.
Right.
24
in a row.
It's a stupid ass record. I'll tell you what. That's not one you even give a damn about.
That is crazy.
Is that not a stupid record? So what?
24
preseason.
Very, very strange.
Why do you care so much? Lighten up, John.
By the way,
Harbaugh.
did anybody show up for the Charger game last night, which was Hurricane?
I don't know.
So there was a hurricane.
That's Justin Herbert over here.
Hey, Brian, did you watch?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, Herbert
preseason.
It's preseason.
Herbert didn't play.
Yeah.
No. I don't.
I know they lost to the Saints, but I wonder because keep in mind earlier in the day was the hurricane,
right?
And then in the morning an earthquake hit.
Yeah. I didn't feel the earthquake. Did you feel the earthquake?
Oh, I felt it. Yeah, I was
my,
shaking.
My wife overreacted to that earthquake more
Really?
than I've ever seen her.
What'd she do?
Jack was in the shower. Or someone was in the shower. She starts screaming, "Get him out of the shower! This is an earthquake! Get him out!" I'm like, "Relax. How many earthquakes you been through?" She goes, "I just got an alert on my phone. We got to be prepared." I'm like, "Would you relax?"
The alerts on the phone are ridiculous. They just go off. I was somewhere eating dinner on Saturday. I think I was at the Mission Inn, and everybody's phone went off at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when that
It's like
happens.
everybody's
I'm
getting the same
surprised
message at the same
if
time.
you were in Riverside County that you didn't feel the earthquake because you were theoretically closer than we were.
Theoretically.
Yeah. I felt it right away.
Yeah, I did not feel anything.
Yeah, my whole couch was shaking.
Was
I
it?
thought for a second I was like, "Oh, is this part
Dude,
of the
what'd you
hurricane?"
do?
My dog went nuts too.
You're supposed to go to the doorway. Did you go to a doorway?
I stood up, was like, "Oh, it stopped shaking."
I
Maybe
went
it was
to
an
the,
earthquake.
I went to
don't
the
know.
doorway and yelled at Lisa to relax.
Yeah.
So that was
do you
my-
have an emergency kit?
She says we do, but how about this?
Yeah.
She has no idea where it is. She goes, "Well, we got one somewhere." I go, "We should probably know where it is."
Yeah. I
Yeah.
asked Juan if we have an emergency kit, and he said, "Yeah, we have Funyuns and beer."
That's a solid kit right there.
All you need.
I
Right
can have
there.
one put together a
Funyuns.
kit for me.
Funyuns and beer.
Excellent emergency kit.
All right, coming up next for you, we've got John. Peyton Manning's going back to school, but not how you think. We got that coming up next for you. Hey, look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people and you pulled your business through the pandemic. And now doing the tough thing could qualify you for up to $26,000 per employee at covidtaxrelief.org. Now, government funds already set aside are available to reward companies with 2 or more employees who stayed open during COVID. Not alone. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for it back. This program is complicated, but nobody knows more about it than the CPAs and tax experts at covidtaxrelief.org. You pay nothing up front, and they do all the work. They will share a percentage of the cash that they get you. Now, businesses of all types, including nonprofits, churches, whatever, can qualify, including those who took PPP loans. Even if you had an increase in sales, you did the tough thing for your employees during COVID. Let covidtaxrelief.org help you with up to $26,000 per employee. Visit covidtaxrelief.org. That's covidtaxrelief.org, covidtaxrelief.org. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
The fun way Welcome back, fellas. And Scott Kaplan and I were on the phone earlier, and he has been invited Saturday night to the Coliseum, and I have been invited Saturday night to the Coliseum, both of us invited by Mace to attend the USC kickoff. And Capley made this point on the phone earlier when he said, Mace really invited you to a game? Is he going to allow you to speak? Of course, that goes back to the famous story when Mason and I went to the Dodgers game and he didn't talk to me the entire game.
No,
Meanwhile, Mason in Ireland continues. Your Monday afternoon right now.
All right,
You know what you should do?
What?
Okay, so it's you, Juan, Morales, and
Kaplan and Alex Michelson.
Okay. If Morales is sitting on your left, put in one earbud.
Oh, good.
And then have Cappy on your right, so you can turn and talk to Cappy, but when Morales talks, you just point in your ear. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay, so why is Party All the Time playing?
Because we're throwing a party. That's why we're doing it.
This is a great song, by the way.
Yeah, we're
What
throwing.
are you talking about?
I love this song.
No, it's
You love
party
Eddie
all the
Murphy,
time,
Party
all the time, party all the time. You don't like this, really?
It's
No.
kind of a good song.
Yeah. He sounds like Rick James.
I don't think I've ever heard this. I didn't know he had a song.
Shut up. You
No,
never
swear.
How have
Brian,
you never
what
heard
is
this
wrong
song?
with you?
I love him as a comedian, too. No, I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever heard this.
So anyway, we're throwing a party. It's going to be at the Founders Club at BMO Stadium. It is Friday, September 1, and it's a pep rally to get ready for Messi arriving for a game on
he is
Sunday that
something
week.
else.
Yeah, he's amazing. So if you want 2 tickets to our exclusive Mesa and Ireland LAFC pep rally and live broadcast at BMO Stadium right now, be caller number 7 or caller number 10 at 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-ESPN. It will be a party all the time.
Party, oh, party.
Party all the time. You don't like this song? I like it.
I'm the one that
Apparently
picked
not
it.
as much as you.
Oh, it's great.
I'm the one. I said, put that on.
Yeah, you definitely do not want a Bergman biopic because in the biopic, this song would be featured in the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
And Ernest Scared Stupid would be
Right.
part of
Oh,
the
by
script.
the way, people were talking about that over the weekend for whatever reason. All of them agreed with me.
Well,
There's a
of course they
there's a
agree
whole
with you.
thread.
They were with
There's a
you.
whole
There needs to be
thread.
some friggin' context. Who were these people that were
It was
saying
a
this?
Reddit thread. Someone sent it to me.
that was
Oh, you're back on Reddit
No,
now.
and they're just talking about the movie and
You
how
and your
terrifying it was
Reddit.
as a
Yeah.
child. It's not just me. I'm telling
No,
you.
it is
it's
just
Reddit.
you.
It's
You guys
Reddit.
are crazy. If you were 9 years old or 8 years old and saw this movie, you'd be scarred to
just
this
Reddit.
day.
Yeah, you're
Well,
scarred.
I know.
Brian, did you ever see
I
it?
know one person
I
who
have. I
is.
thought it was
Yeah,
kind of cheesy.
No, man, you
See,
know.
Brian, you
Thank
didn't,
you,
you didn't scare
Brian.
you.
Oh, the whole
What-
Ernest,
how-
all those movies are.
No. How old were you when you saw Ernest Scared Stupid?
Probably like around 8, I'd say.
All right, we're
8 to
done
10.
talking.
You'd have to be stupid to actually watch Ernest
I think
Scared
I've seen.
Stupid.
I see all
Is
the
that-
other
that's a
movies
prerequisite?
first.
None of you
Yeah.
understand.
It totally
None
is.
of you.
Totally is.
Is that guy still alive? Jim
No,
Varney?
he passed
He
away.
passed
He
away.
passed away.
he passed away.
Okay.
All right, so Peyton Manning, I mentioned this going to the break. Peyton Manning is going back to school, but not how you think. He is going back as a teacher at the University of Tennessee. So is it Tennessee University or the University of Tennessee? Whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. Now, is that not a class that is going to be totally full? I don't even know what he's teaching. It's
Right.
going to be totally full just because it's Peyton Manning teaching, right?
Right. Would you, by the way, would you do that if Bowling Green called you? You could do it online, and they said, we want you to teach a broadcasting class.
Yes.
And they don't pay you money that's going to make you a difference. You would be
Correct.
doing it for the experience.
Yes.
Would you do it?
Yes. In fact,
I would too.
I've been
I took
training.
a sportscasting class at UCLA from a professor, Arthur Friedman, who is no longer alive.
Okay.
If they want to, sportscasting 126A,
Yeah.
if they want to revisit that, if they want to start it again, I will do it. So put that out there. to
Is that a
anybody.
full course curriculum or
Yeah.
just going to speak?
It's a quarter.
Wow.
It's
That's a big
10
commitment.
weeks, once a week for a quarter.
Yeah, see, I would do that. So I'd go back and speak at Bowling Green. They've been trying to figure out a way to get me back there. But I can't because of this 59-show streak.
You could Zoom.
Yeah, I could Zoom. You're right. I could totally Zoom. But I would like to go back to that. I would. I think I've got a lot of broadcasting stuff to share to people.
What would be your number one broadcasting tip for the youths?
Consider other professions.
I think that's honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's
See, mine would be the opposite.
Oh, really?
I was texting with somebody today. I played golf in Idaho with somebody. He goes, hey, I know a kid. He's in college.
Yep.
And he wants to be a sportscaster. Would you mind reaching out to him? I said, sure. Give me his number. So I connected with him today. I texted with him today, and I said, he's going to send me an email over the next couple of days. But I said, let me start with this. Broadcasting is a war of attrition.
Yes.
When I was at UCLA, there were 17 guys who wanted to be sportscasters. I'm the only one left.
Yeah.
If you really want to do this.
Yes.
So my advice is exactly the opposite of yours. Consider other professions as one take. This was mine. If you really, really want to do this, don't let anybody talk you out of it. To quote Jim Valvano, never give up. Don't ever give up. Because at the end, somebody's going to have to replace me one day as the voice of the Lakers.
Right.
Why not you?
Yeah.
That was my
I guess
advice.
that's a better way to
Well, yours
say,
is more
just
honest.
Get out of the business. I'm going to walk in and say, get out
Bergman,
of the
what
business.
would your best tip for aspiring broadcasters from Greg Bergman is what?
It's to learn absolutely everything in the business that you can from everybody.
Well, that's also very good. Like, I always use Trudell as an example. Mike Trudell can do radio.
Yep.
He can do TV.
Yep.
He writes for Lakers.com.
Exactly.
In the old days,
Be indispensable.
The more
in
things
the old
you
days,
do, yeah.
the term is multi-platform. In the old days, they would have had to hire 3 people. They would have had to hire somebody to be the TV sideline reporter, somebody to do the radio, or in his case now, podcast. He does a podcast for the Lakers. And somebody to write for Lakers.com. Instead, Mike does all 3 and gets paid one salary for it. So he makes a good living, and he saves the Lakers headcount and money because he's willing to do all 3.
Right. And
that's what you should do.
And I think, I think you should do it if that's what you really want to do. It's not a side thing. It's not like, hey, maybe I'll be on the radio or TV. No, you've got to be impassioned. You've got to be driven to get anywhere. And by the way, we've got people on our staff who are completely in that. I mean, hung out as interns, now are the social media
the Blueprint
team.
guys.
Now they have a podcast.
Like Parker and DeAndre and Cody will all be doing this 10 years from now. It's just a matter of when.
I got bumped from their podcast on Saturday.
Well, it's
wow, you bumped him.
Yeah.
Look at his. Look at DeAndre. You
DeAndre
bumped
is shaking
Steve.
his head no.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I believe DeAndre.
I can't believe it. DeAndre
Mason bumped himself, didn't he? DeAndre. You wanted Mason, and he said, "No. I'm indisposed. I'm at the Mission Inn. I'm on the lounge chair at Terranea. I'm out."
No,
right?
hey, you should never have him on again. You should never bring him on. If you canceled your first appearance,
you're giving him a Windhorse treatment. You're
Yes.
banning him.
You should be banned.
I never made the commitment.
Did he? Make
Obviously.
The commitment?
Did I make a commitment?
Oh,
DeAndre?
he's shaking his head. Oh, then I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
No,
do
you
it
can't
then.
ban me. yet.
DeAndre,
I'll do it on Saturday.
Do
We'll do
want
it
me-
on Saturday.
DeAndre, do you want me on the Blueprint? Okay, if it was any other day.
Somehow I saw that coming.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next for you is What's Up, Fool? We've got Brian and we've got Bergman throwing stuff at us next.
What's up, fool?
Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
All right, you've heard us talking about it all throughout the show. Mason spent 3 days last week at Terranea.
Amazing.
Terranea is my favorite place in Southern California. You can see dolphins and whales swimming from your hotel room.
I saw both.
It is, you really need to go to see it. It's 102 acres on the Palos Verdes Peninsula. The customer service is second to none, and whatever size accommodations you need, they've got them. Mason and Juan stayed in a regular hotel room, which are great. You want a bungalow, a casita, a villa. Bergman and I, by the way, are going to be down there on Friday. We might even be doing the show from there, but we're going to go down, play golf, have lunch with some listeners on Friday. I can't wait to get back to Terranea. They have 4 restaurants, 8 different dining experiences, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, tide pooling, meet and greets with the Falconer, art classes. They got a golf course. They got a spa that I love. You got to check out Terranea. If you want to save some money and not get on a plane and fly to Hawaii, this is like going to Hawaii without getting on a plane. And my guy, Ralph Grippo, who runs the show at Terranea, is my favorite hotel executive. If you know me, you know I spend over 100 nights a year in hotels. Ralph makes sure that Terranea is always at the top of the list. Check them out today by going to this website, terranea.com. Here's how you spell it. Terranea. 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 Terranea.com.
So Al and I are teaming up for your chance to win an entire office full of lunch from Waba Grill. So you're going to want to be listening all day during the 12 o'clock lunch hour for your cue to call to pick up food for the entire office, courtesy of Waba Grill.
We got some ribeye, we got some chicken, we got some shrimp.
I'm making it sound like I cooked them myself. Look at these boom boom tacos.
You can visit wabagrill.com. You can order online. Just go on in, get yourself some of these tacos. Visit your local Waba Grill location. Of course, walk right in. Of course, you can order online for delivery or pickup. Waba Grill, right? Eat smart, be healthy. Boom boom, kaboom.
Very excited that What's Up Fool is made possible by our friends at Dos Hombres. In fact, we've got a special guest voice. Take it away, guest voice.
What's Up Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
Look at that. How do I follow that? I don't. So I simply say, take it away, Corporate Greg.
Thanks, Morales. All right, so Lou Will, Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
For some reason.
Love Lou Will.
Oh, I do too. Mostly for the lemon pepper stuff. But he thinks he is a Hall of Famer. And not only him, he thinks Jamal Crawford belongs in the Hall of Fame. He says, this is according to TMZ Sports, I definitely think we are Hall of Famers. We contributed can't say it, to the game. I think the Hall of Fame is what you bring to the table and being the best at what you do in the realm of basketball. I think we all did that. Is Lemon Pepper Lou and Jamal Crawford Hall of Famers?
All right, the answer to this question is, how important is the sixth man of the year?
Right.
Because they both won it multiple times. I think they each won it 3 times. So in their respective roles, and there's some pretty good. Kevin McHale's in the Hall of Fame. He's a former sixth man of the year. Bill Walton's in the Hall of Fame, former sixth man of the year.
How were their high school and college careers?
Yeah, you can't put a guy who scored 14 points a game in it for his career in the Hall of Fame.
Dennis Rodman's in there. He didn't average that many.
Yeah, but he averaged that many rebounds and more.
Right.
He was there because of rebounding.
My honest answer, Greg, is
no way in hell. That's my understanding.
I would vote no, but I love both those guys. I love Lou Will, and I love Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, Jamal Crawford's great.
I don't think they rise to the level of Hall of Fame. What do you think?
No, I absolutely do not think they're Hall of Famers. They were great at their roles, but they weren't Hall of Famers. You need to be the best of the best of the best.
Here's a hard
Hall of
one
Fame in my mind.
Here's a hard one for you guys.
Michael Cooper.
No, Mike Cooper's getting in one day, for sure.
Not.
Best defensive player on 9 finals teams.
He's not going to.
You can't have Ben Wallace in and not Michael Cooper in. But here's the hard one. Robert Horry.
No.
7 rings.
No.
Best clutch shooter of his generation, but never an all-star.
Yeah.
By the way, was Lou or Jamal Crawford? I think Crawford was. I don't think Lou ever was an all-star, but I think Jamal Crawford was once. That's a good question. Can you be a Hall of Famer if you were never an all-star? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, Lou was never an all-star. Robert Horry was never an all-star.
Yeah, that's, to me...
Was Jamal Crawford an all-star?
Maybe once. Jamal Crawford could fill it up.
Yeah, he was a scorer.
But that's all he was. He was a scorer. He didn't do anything else.
But there are 6 men of the year in the Hall of Fame, but they went and did, like Dennis Johnson's in the Hall of Fame. He's a former 6 man of the year.
He was 3-time NBA 6-man Jamal Crawford, NBA Teammate of the Year, and that's it.
Well,
Second
NBA
team
Teammate of the
All-American.
Year, that's a nice award to have.
It is
very
good for you.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? If either one of them were from another country, it would enhance their chances of getting in.
Sure, because they'd have a resume from overseas.
Like Manu Ginobili, former 6 man of the year, Hall of Fame.
Pau Gasol. Same thing.
But Ginobili had a bigger body of work than either Lou Will or Jamal Crawford. So I think Ginobili deserves to be in. It's a good question. I would vote no.
Yeah, Kevin McHale, 7-time All. You mentioned Kevin McHale, 7-time All-Star, 3 championships, 8 times All-League.
Yeah, different level.
Different level of extra 6-man.
What's up, fool?
Brian pressed the button, not you.
Brian a little slow on the
Brian
trigger
was
there,
asleep
Brian.
at the wheel.
Yeah.
We got to move.
Wake
Keep
up,
it
Brian.
moving, Brian.
All right, yeah, so yesterday, August 20th, was National Radio Day.
Oh,
so my
nice.
question to you guys is, do you have like a one all-time favorite radio memory, whether it's listening to a game or being part of it yourself?
I will answer it this way. I have one person that I think is the most underrated radio talent of all time.
Thank you.
And it's Phil Hendry.
Oh, he's great.
If you've never listened to Phil Hendry, it is a whole new level of radio. It's not sports.
No.
It is Phil playing the role of everyone you hear. He's the host. He's the guest. Oftentimes, and it's all to trick the callers. I remember one time I was listening to him driving. He used to be on KFI at night.
Yeah.
I was driving home one day, and he was interviewing this woman who said she was in the South at a church, and for baptism, she would get a giant Ziploc bag and put a baby in the bag and shake it, and Phil would go. Phil was playing both parts,
Right.
but he would say, I got to tell you, this is the most absurd thing I've ever heard, and frankly, it's not medically safe.
Yeah.
You should be investigated. And he would come on again as the woman, and he would go. She'd go, no. We treat the kids great. We leave we poke little holes in the bag, and we shake it like shake and bake chicken.
Yeah.
And we sing a song. You want me to sing it for you? And Phil goes, I absolutely do not want you to sing. And he'd go, Baptist baby in a bag, shake it. And people would call and go, This is ridiculous, and people would scream at it.
And they don't know. Yeah,
they don't know that he's playing both
Right.
parts. That's how I would answer. For National Radio Day, I would say discover Phil Hendry. He's got a website now with all of his greatest hits. Discover Phil Hendry. He's the greatest.
So for me, it's personal. It's the night I was working with Tom Snyder, and we were talking about me going back to do a Toledo Mud Hens game. They had me go back and do the game. And Tom said, it's a lot harder than you think. I was like, I'm fine. I mean, I've watched baseball my entire life.
Right.
It's my game.
It's your favorite
I've been around
sport.
minor leagues, all that stuff. He goes, well, tell you what, kid. We'll put you on the TV and we'll play some of your calls on Monday night. I'm like, okay, sure.
Is that when you botched the home run?
It's when I botched the home run.
You misidentified
players, and the guy was like correcting me and all this stuff. So they put it on national TV. Then Tom comes back and does the half-hour radio and gives me nothing but crap for 30 solid minutes.
So.
Deservedly. Yeah, I mean, people make it look easy. It's not easy. So that's I remember that as being a really clear, fun moment in my career.
Yeah. So mine would be, Brian, that Kobe's last game was one of the most incredible moments of my life.
My favorite game I've ever done.
It's by far. So being able to sit, everything that I got to do during the game and to help out John with so many different
I
people.
gave Greg a microphone. I go, just keep walking up to people and we'll put them on the radio and you got me like 12 people.
Yeah, and by the way, I was only here for 2-3 months by that point.
Yeah.
Because it was 2016.
And there you are, wild, walking around the court.
Just walking around the court. I got to sit next to Robert Horry for a few minutes. I didn't talk to him, but I got to sit next to him on the floor for a little while. It was the most incredible day ever.
That's awesome.
I don't know if
and I talked to everybody.
Okay, I don't know if you guys want to do it. I'll leave it up to you because it's a little self-serving. But
isn't that what we all do?
Thursday.
We're all serving ourselves.
This Thursday is August 24th, 8/24.
Right.
For a few years, and if you guys want to get back to it, we can do it. We played the last 3 minutes of that game as Michael and I called it on the air.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do it on Thursday,
absolutely.
I say we absolutely do it.
People absolutely love it.
And it is, as I listen to it, it's like I'm reliving it again, and it's like, you got to be kidding me that this is happening.
I have last 6 minutes of the game. It's 11 minutes long.
Yeah, if you want to play it, we should do it. Because it's people can't
on
believe
8/24, yeah, which is Thursday, right?
Yeah, so this Thursday, Kobe Day,
Yep.
8/24. His birthday, by the way, would have been Wednesday. 8/23.
And I heard that Vanessa is releasing his new shoe. this week too.
Right, in honor of Kobe Day and in honor of his birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll try and do that on Thursday. We'll pick a time. We'll announce tomorrow what time we're going to do.
By the way, nugget for you: Phil Hendry still doing his act, but it's online now. PhilHendryShow.com.
I went to a wedding last year of one of our neighbor's kids, and I walk in and there's Phil Hendry at the wedding.
Oh wow!
And I ended up talking to him for an hour. It was one of the coolest nights of my life.
He is just a brilliant guy.
Yeah,
Brian, what about you?
I got a couple. One that first comes to mind, though, is 2017 when the Dodgers finally made it into the World Series.
Yeah.
I was listening to that game that they clinched and just remember like goosebumps and just feeling.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, but that was like something I'll always remember.
Yeah.
Was the next one when their first day here when Mason and Ireland?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Actually,
right.
Yeah, I would hope so.
When you made it to the
It's the
first
next
day and
day,
didn't get
yeah,
fired.
exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's up, fool?
All right, so speaking of the Little League World Series, the Little League Classic was last night. The Phillies.
I
and
love
Nationals.
this
Yeah,
idea.
they go back and play.
They played in Williamsport,
right? And
Yeah.
all the kids got to watch, got to attend the game, and all that stuff. But the cool thing I thought about the whole game was they got to use custom bats.
Did you see the number 2 pencil
yeah,
bat?
That was my
favorite.
one. That was my favorite.
I didn't
one.
see any.
Oh,
There was the Philly
this guy
Fanatic.
was swinging a bat that was painted and looked like a number 2 pencil.
It was
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
really cool.
Yeah. So my question to you guys is this something you would want to see? It's kind of like the custom cleats. Like, should these guys just be able to have custom bats all the time?
I love it for once a year. I think baseball has embraced more gimmicky things lately for the betterment of the game. Like,
I saw some of the most god awful looking Padre uniforms I've ever seen.
Like
they
for
were
example,
like lime green and
I
so random.
I hated the All-Star uniforms this year, but I love the Field of Dreams game. I love the Little League Williamsport game. I love the fact that they throw out all the rules that you can play with. The idea of that game that they played last night in Williamsport is they put it on Sunday Night Baseball so the whole country can see it, and they tell the players, act as if you're a kid.
Right.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
go ahead and use your, like Bryce Harper. I like somebody had a SpongeBob bat. Somebody else had
that's
a
fun.
Mario bat. That guy had the number 2 pencil. They were interviewing players during the game, which they've been doing a lot more of. I thought it was really cool, and I hope they do it I think for one game, Brian, one game a year during the Little League World Series, letting the kids have the seats. There's only about 2,500 seats. It was great. Loved it.
What's up, fool?
Also, yesterday, staying on a little baseball, rookie Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles was a single away from the cycle in the top of the eighth.
Yeah.
They were up 10-1 and decided to go for 2, push it for leg out a double.
Right. So to put this in perspective, he already had the home run, the triple, and the double.
Yes.
Right.
And then he laced a hit to the outfield. All he had to do was stop it first, and he stretched it into a double, so no cycle. And his teammates were killing him.
They were like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
It's
What was the
10
score at the time?
10-1.
It's
10-1.
His
10 to
team
1.
was-
Oh, stop it first.
Top
dude.
of the 8th inning, too.
Okay,
Oh,
but
Bergman, you saying stop it?
Stop
see,
it
Greg,
first.
I
Stop
don't.
it first.
I don't blame. What's his name? Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar Henderson. He's a rookie, too.
Yeah, I don't blame Gunnar Henderson at all.
It was a double.
Yeah, I mean, I
Just
think
period, it was a double.
Right, yeah.
Greg, wouldn't that
Stop
be
it first.
no, Greg?
I'm with
wouldn't
Greg,
that,
though.
wouldn't
Stop it
that,
first.
Hold on, guys. Wouldn't this be the equivalent? And I've seen it happen in the NBA several times. You're one rebound away from a triple-double.
Sure. Ricky
Davis.
Yeah,
Ricky Davis.
you just throw the ball off the backboard when no one else is around to get your rebound so you get the triple-double. Wouldn't this be the equivalent of that?
Yeah, so it's very similar to that. Yes, it is the equivalent. But what he could have done was turn the corner hard at first, kind of like slow down as
Skid
he's
it out.
going to second, and then slide to just a second too late and get caught out. So you're really stretching for a double, but you get called for a single.
Or just dive back to first base.
I think you push like you're going
I
to
don't think you
second
can
and get called out at second.
Mace, I
You're
don't
up
think
10-1.
you can criticize a guy for hustling.
No,
he's the opposite of Manny Machado.
No, he sculled the ball
This
down
one's
the
okay.
right field line. It was clearly a double
one's okay.
from the jump. And I think you stretch that to a double if you can.
Yeah, 4 extra base hits in a game, too. Not bad.
Yeah, 4 extra base
pretty
hits. I mean,
solid.
it's a really solid game.
It is pretty hard. I mean, it's harder to hit for the cycle than it is to throw a no-hitter.
Exactly.
Stop the
Is
first
that
base.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been fewer
Or stretch it out and get
cycles
called
than
out at
no-hitters. There have been fewer perfect games than cycles, but there have been fewer cycles than no-hitters.
I think find out what's rare. A 4-home run game is also incredibly rare.
Yeah,
And no one's ever had a 5-home run
Nobody
game, right?
has. I was at J.D. Martinez's 4-home run game at Dodger Stadium.
Who's the all-star in Seattle? Is it Jose Rodriguez?
Julio Rodriguez.
Julio Rodriguez.
Who's
Did
been
you guys-
crazy hot
Okay.
right now.
Oh,
well, no.
my God.
Like, did you see this? He had 17 hits in a 4-game series. Has anyone ever done that?
No, that's crazy.
17 hits in a 4-game series?
He was named, by the way, American League Player of the Week.
Yeah, but I that's got to be some type of record, doesn't it?
It was insane. But by the way, 5 home runs in a game has been achieved 4 times.
Oh.
Pete Schneider in 1923, Lou Frierson in 1934, Cecil Dunn in 1936, and Dick Lane in 1948.
So not in modern times.
In the pre-professional era, Lipman Pike also hit 5 home runs in 1866.
I've just never.
I've
I've just never heard of anybody hitting 5.
Yeah, no.
If it hasn't happened since 1948, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, is that it?
Yep, that's all I got for you.
Okay.
Coming up next for
What's
you,
up, fool?
USC has named a new athletic director. We'll talk about that. Plus, on top of that, it's the 25th anniversary for a movie site we all use, but is it good for movies? Or is it bad for them? We'll do that coming up next. Mason, Ireland, 710 ESPN.
DCAM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
ESPN 710 Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Monday afternoon.
All right, so I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
And
hot take, look out.
And yes, welcome back to the boys. Mason and Ireland have returned from the summer vacation and ready for a week of fun and frivolity. We'll get the details on Ireland's trip to Idaho. And we will find out if Mace got into too much trouble at Terranea Resort last week. Plus, I believe today, we are reviewing golf swings and seeing which one wins for one of our fabulous listeners to play golf with Corporate Greg and Johnny I. Also, speaking of more giveaways, get ready because Mason and Ireland are throwing a pep rally Friday, September 1st to get ready for LAFC and Messi coming to town. More details on how you could win exclusive tickets to Press the Flesh with Mason and Ireland, Corporate Greg at BMO Stadium next Friday.
This is Carlos Vela, number 10, Los Angeles Football Club. LAFC, the black and gold, play here on 710 ESPN.
All of that and so much more. Welcome back, Mason and Ireland, the biggest show on the radio, your Monday afternoon right now.
3 o'clock crowd. Good afternoon, everybody. We are back, and I am beginning what is going to be a heroic stretch of 59 consecutive shows.
Well, see, I got $100,000 against you. So
that'll kill you for football season.
Yeah,
won't
but
it?
I'll be happy to pay it if you do those 59 days in a row.
You think so?
Oh, would that be worth it to me?
Yeah. The record is 49.
Okay.
This year, 59.
Love
Nobody believes I'm going to do it.
Not
Bergman,
in the
you don't
slightest.
believe it's
Not
going to
in the
happen?
slightest.
No
Brian,
one.
are you a believer? Are you a Mason believer?
I'm a little iffy here.
Yeah, he's also
He's
a little
new
iffy.
and he's still iffy about it all.
Still iffy. All right, so John, the USC football or the USC Trojans have hired a new athletic director. They did this. They announced it earlier today. It is Jennifer Cohen, who is the University of Washington AD since 2016. So this is a rational departure from what Pat Hayden and Mike Garrett and Mike Bone, all those guys. We've got somebody who's been doing it for a while, somebody who is a professional, somebody who's had success at the University of Washington. A great hire, I think, for USC.
And interesting now, the school is now being run completely by women.
Yeah.
Carol Folt is the chancellor, and she's the one that hired Jennifer Cohen. And I wonder, I'm assuming part of that was Mike Bone left under a cloud of reporting that there were some mistreatment of female employees under Mike Bone's watch.
Yep.
It depends who you believe. The LA Times did a deep dive on this. And so now Jennifer Cohen comes in, and that's a complete change in the culture.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, she's had a lot of success at Washington. I think the year she went in there, they had been 4-8 in football, and she hired that Caleb DeBoer, and they went 11-2 the next year.
Right.
So she's used to winning in football.
Yep.
We're going to try and get her on at some point. We'll try and get her on the show and talk to her, but who knows if she'll do it. You know, some ADs will come on whenever you call them, and others don't like doing that type of thing.
Right.
But based on her resume, I think it's a good hire.
Yeah, it's a really good resume. Really strong resume. Now, I would say to Ms. Cohen, athletic director Cohen, AD Cohen, you need to put USC football back on our station.
Well,
this is a direct plea to, I know she's a big listener. She's a P1. Jennifer Cohen.
Frankly,
please put USC football back on our station.
They need us more than we need them, which is exactly why she should do it.
Absolutely. Bergman, are you working on that at all? Have you called Jennifer?
I have not called Jennifer Cohen just yet, but I can after the show if you'd like.
Yeah, let's
wait,
talk
hold on.
to her.
I can do it right now too.
Yeah, call it.
And what I mean by that, by the way,
Jennifer Cohen.
that they need us more than we need them is right now. I don't even know where they are. They're KBC.
They're on a total crap radio station.
Well,
yeah.
but that station has no ancillary sports program.
Nothing.
See, if we have them, remember you and I used to do the show from Heritage Hall once a week.
Yeah,
we would do it's like we do the Rams and the Lakers.
Right.
We do like tons of
unprecedented
pregame, tons of postgame, and then we'd talk about them all week.
Yeah.
When they left, we just stopped doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now it's an opportunity under a new regime.
Yep.
To maybe get that back. And I, by the way, think that under Lincoln Riley, they're going to be a powerhouse.
Oh
for the
my
next
God,
5
they're going to be
years.
so good.
Yeah, they're going to
so
be great.
good.
I mean, there's never going to be a shortage of action because they're going to score 50 points and give up 45 every week, which is awesome.
Yep.
I mean, it just makes for a lot of fun.
Breaking news. The Indianapolis Colts have given All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade per league sources. Other teams now are weighing whether to make an offer to the Colts and what would be fair value. So it appears that the Jonathan Taylor Colts saga has taken a turn.
Well, you and I were talking during one of the commercial breaks, and remember, Bergman, we had that story a couple of weeks ago before we went on vacation about how Colts owner Jim Irsay was willing to spend $20 million to move a whale from Florida to California, where they were going to put it back with that whale. Tragically, has passed away. So why doesn't he just take that $20 million he was going to spend on the whale and give it to Jonathan Taylor?
I mean, to put those two together is
it would seem to me. Now I know it's a capped league,
and by the way, our condolences to the whale.
Yeah,
but I mean, take that whale money and pay Jonathan Taylor. Right, all the money you were spending on the whale, you can now spend to bring back Jonathan Taylor, although that appears not to be the case. Boy, he is a premium player for somebody to be chasing.
I'm trying to think of, if I was another team, what team would, the Jets went and signed Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
So they don't need him. Maybe Dolphins? Patriots?
Who they did sign a running? Oh, they signed Ezekiel.
Well, you know who the danger zone is if they get him. Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
You add him to Patrick Mahomes in the backfield and just look out.
Yeah.
Eagles. Didn't they sign somebody though? The Eagles signed the guy from Detroit, I think.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
But I mean, DeAndre Swift is no Jonathan Taylor.
Lions.
I'm trying to remember.
DeAndre Swift left the Lions, so I don't know who they've got going. But, yeah, there's several.
By the way, we need to know all this stuff because our fantasy football draft is coming up.
Right. There are several teams that you would think might benefit from them.
Am I being just naive to say, hey, wouldn't it be great if the Rams got him?
Well, the Lions have David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah, that'd be a serious upgrade. Well, so you mentioned the Rams base. Are you down on Cam Akers? Because he's cost-controlled and he's pretty good.
Don't you want them to lose?
No. I don't want him to lose.
6 games.
No, I want him to win 9. I want him to win 9 games and make the playoffs. To me, that is a wildly successful season.
Yeah, I actually think Cam Akers is fine.
I guess I do too. I can't see who.
Okay, by the way, speaking of running backs, did you guys see this weird story involving Joe Mixon?
Yeah, this is weird.
So, Joe Mixon is the starting tailback for the Bengals.
Yep.
He has had some off-the-field issues, and he doesn't like the way 4 of the beat writers have covered those issues. So, he has decided he won't answer questions from those 4 specific reporters who covered the team. He'll answer any other questions from any other reporters, and he'll even answer questions from reporters at the same outlet as the one he's boycotting. So, for example, one of the people he doesn't want to talk to anymore is the ESPN reporter. Will this work? I mean, they're required to talk to the media. He's not violating that. But, Greg, will he get fined if these 4 people ask him questions and he just doesn't say a word?
Yes, yes, he will. It was like when Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here not to get fined, just answering one word.
Right, but
you
here's
have
what's
to answer.
interesting.
You have to answer certain things.
He will talk to a different reporter from the Cincinnati Enquirer, just not the reporter that pisses him off.
So, for example, and this guy did a really good job last year during the DeMar Hamlin thing that happened in Cincinnati. There's a guy named Ben Baby at ESPN.com. He's one of the 4. It's ESPN.com, the Cincinnati Enquirer, Sports Illustrated, and Pro Football Network. Mixon told Pro Football Talk he's not boycotting any outlet. His problems are with 4 specific reporters, regardless of where they work. Mixon says it's Ben Baby, Kelsey Conway, James Rapien, and Jay Morrison. The bulk of his frustration seems to be directed at Ben Baby from ESPN. And his agent, Mixon's agent, after Ben Baby wrote a tweet explaining all this, said, "You know exactly why we don't talk to you. You consistently look for the negative. You're always putting players down. We've given you ample chances to correct the situation, and you refuse. You made your bed, now sleep in it. Don't tweet people that you don't know why." Do you think Mixon gets away with this?
No, I do not. I don't believe he should be allowed to. I'm sure that he's going to be fined. You're not allowed to pick and choose your reporters. You're not allowed to say, this is a little bit like that Angels thing, where the Angels had that round table.
Yeah, that guy's still covering the team.
Sam
Blum.
Sam Blum. But the other reporters refused to participate in the roundtable because Sam Blum was kicked off the roundtable for saying critical things about the Angels. Now, I don't think you're allowed to pick and choose your reporters. And Ben Baby and the other reporters, I think, they've got reason to fine Joe Mixon if he refuses to talk to them. It is weird.
It will be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, I don't know how that can work because I've covered teams for 30 years, it's a scrum. Like we make a horseshoe around you with cameras and questions and for your media availability. So unless he's going to be incredibly attentive and realize where the questions are coming from, a lot of times the questions just come from the back of the pack. And it's easier just to answer all of them.
Right.
But I'm with you.
I'm not talking to you.
I'm with you. I don't think he gets away with it. I don't think it works.
So, playing our favorite song.
Greg's favorite song. Eddie Murphy, the comedian, singing Party All the Time.
Wonderful song, and I love it.
It's the musical stylings of Eddie Murphy. We are throwing a party Friday, September 1 from 1 to 4 p.m. inside BMO Stadium at the Founders Club, getting ready for Lionel Messi and Inter Miami to play LAFC on Sunday. Right now, caller number 7 and caller number 10, you can win your way in. Fans in attendance have a chance to win LAFC versus Miami tickets. You can be there to see Messi. And autographed merchandise, plus food and drinks and all kinds of stuff. Listen all week long to Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN. So caller number 7, caller number 10 right now, 877-710 ESPN. I never got to that thing I was going to say about the thing about the movies that 25 years, and I want to do that.
Good.
That's coming up next. That made no sense, but... Stay
Made
tuned.
perfect sense to me.
Yeah. That's next. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. Hashtag funny people. I like that. So what's up, people? All right, so John, 25 years ago.
So 1998.
A website was founded that we often refer to. Any guess what it might be? It relates to movies.
Is it Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, it is Rotten Tomatoes, 25 years ago, right now. So do you think Rotten Tomatoes has been good for the movies or bad for the movies?
Good.
You do?
Yeah, because if I can't decide which movie to go see, I can go on there and look. Now, do you value more the critics' percentage or the fans' percentage?
I think I value the critics' percentage a little bit.
I'm the opposite.
But I will be honest, I never look at Rotten Tomatoes before I go see a movie. I don't want to know
you're good
in
with
advance.
That. Yeah, because you don't want to know anything about the movie.
Don't want to know a thing.
Yeah, I always check it to make sure I'm not going to like the world's biggest piece of crap. You know, I want the movie to at least be functional.
Now, Bergman goes one step further. Bergman, you don't watch the trailers.
I refuse to watch trailers because I don't want, because a lot of times trailers play either the biggest part or the funniest part of the movie, and I want to be completely
But if you're
shocked and
in a
surprised.
movie, like when I went to go see Barbie, it started with 5 trailers.
I know, it makes it difficult.
What do? Do you walk out or
no? I
check your phone. Or?
So during Marvel, when they were in their big run, like getting up to Endgame and Infinity Wars, I would cover my ears and close my eyes because I did not want to know anything about Marvel, and I would do it for every single movie, which I know is a little bit crazy, but I just didn't want to know. But now I don't really care anymore. There's no movies that have come out recently that I'm like, I really got to see that.
The only movie that I haven't seen that I want to is Oppenheimer. You've seen that, right?
Oh, God, it is so good.
Yeah, I'll get it at some point.
By the way, many, many stories because Cillian Murphy was at Terranay when we were there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I didn't say anything to him. He was trying to be anonymous, which I'm totally cool with.
Yeah.
I didn't want, I'm not TMZ. I'm not going to ask him questions.
Right.
But he was there, and so was Ken Jennings.
No kidding.
Yeah, so it was a star-studded trip to Terranay.
All right. Can I ask you guys? I want to ask you guys something, and you guys tell me if it's something or nothing.
Okay.
While we were on vacation, and I can't decide with athletes if this means anything. After James Harden said he would never play for Daryl Morey again, that's a big drama going on with the Sixers.
Never play for that man again.
Yeah, liar, called him a liar, it's a big mess. Joel Embiid, the reigning NBA MVP, removed all 76ers references from his social media. I can never tell. Is that something or nothing?
It's always something. I mean, you've got to go to the effort of going through your personal profile and removing logos or names of teams or whatever. It's not like it accidentally happened one day. He deliberately went in and did it. So I do think it means something.
Greg, what do you think?
I do think it means something.
He's under contract.
Doesn't mean he's demanding a trade. It just means he's unhappy or pissed off about Harden or whatever it is.
No matter what, I think that when his contract is up or getting close to being up, I think he's going to leave Philadelphia.
Do you think it's that significant?
I think it's that significant.
How did Daryl
Because I don't
Morey,
think
him one of the smartest guys around, wind up in this spot?
All right, here's to you guys. Because Harden.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Bergman. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I cut it. I know what you're doing, and I cut you off.
No, I don't mean to cut you. Go ahead.
No, because him and James Harden, Embiid and James Harden, are close.
Right,
they're friends. He is covering for his friend. He's standing behind his friend in James Harden. And now, when this is all said and done, he's going to want out also because he doesn't want to be a part of this franchise that they're losing constantly and not getting out of the second round. He wants to win. It's the most important thing to him.
Mace, here's why I think Daryl's in this situation.
Yes.
We both like Daryl. We know him a little bit.
Daryl's great.
I think Daryl had a conversation with James, and he said something along the lines of, look, I'm trying to put together a championship roster. Take this deal, this one-year deal, so I can go out and spend the money elsewhere, and then I'll take care of you when you become a free agent. And now he's not doing it. And that's why James thinks Daryl is a liar. And Daryl doesn't have to. It's the old thing. Get them to sign on the line that is dotted. Like, they can tell us that here. They could say, hey, Mason, Ireland, we want to rip up your contracts because we have budgets, and we want to give your money to Travis and Sliwa. And then when you guys
That is such an unrealistic scenario, but go ahead.
When you guys come up, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And then we come up, and they say, you know what? Things have changed. We don't have any money.
Right.
And in James Harden's case, you're overweight and out of shape, and
Right.
we don't want to give you $100 million. I think that's the truth lies somewhere in there.
Yeah,
don't you think?
right. Yeah, it totally does. I mean, it was mismanaged. Didn't work. Harden is the problem. Everywhere Harden goes, he's the problem.
What's the third team in a row he's asked to get out of?
I mean, it's no surprise. I mean,
he has to get out of the Rockets. He has to get out of the Nets. Now he wants out of the Sixers.
He's just a tough guy to please. He needs a perfect situation that fits his specifications on the nose.
Right. The other thing that happened while we were gone that I wanted to bring up, and I guess, Greg, you mentioned they covered it pretty well, the fill-in people covered it pretty well when we were gone, is this story about Mookie Betts being at home plate.
Yeah.
And a guy sitting behind the plate says to Betts, I love how fans can directly interact with stars now.
Yes.
Says, if you hit a home run right now, and he's on the phone, this guy behind the plate, and he's talking to his wife who is close to delivering a baby.
Yep.
And he says, if you hit a home run right now, my daughter, she's going to be born in the next 48 hours or so.
Yep.
I'll make her middle name Mookie. And Betts kind of looked at him and goes, somewhere, Brian, you can look and see if we have this. I sent you the sound this morning, but I think they probably had it from last week. Do you have it?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, so here's Mookie explaining how this all went down.
Back a couple weeks ago, I was on deck and this guy started talking to me. He said, Mookie, if you hit a home run, I'll name my daughter her middle name Mookie. And I heard this and I laughed, and he said he was serious. And so I turned around and told him, nah, don't do that, bro. Don't do that. And he said, no, I'm going to do it. And I said, your wife wouldn't like that, bro. Don't do that. He said, no, I'm going to tell her. So I think he may have been on the phone with her. So then that at bat is when I hit, I think, the first home run I've hit in my career. A couple weeks later, I see on Twitter the birth certificate for Francesca Mookie Mancuso. Shout out to you, Giuseppe. I can't wait to meet Francesca. And that's going to be my girl. That's going to be my girl.
Oh,
all right,
awesome.
So that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
I would be, if somebody said, Ireland, I love Mason in Ireland, I'm going to make my son Mason Ireland Johnson.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot of pressure for us to live up to. Is it an honor, or would you be a little nervous?
Isn't a lot of pressure on them to live up?
But
them to live up to.
If
your middle name was Mookie, how do you ever top Mookie?
Well, by the way, I applaud him for using the middle name as a vehicle. I've told this story a million times, but I have a friend who his son was born around the time of the Austin Powers movies.
Yeah.
And they wanted to give him some ammunition.
Not the same story.
Right. And so they Danger is his middle name.
Yes.
I think
Danger is his middle name. Is awesome.
Yeah, so his name is Ryan Danger Steinberg.
Fantastic.
So when he meets girls, he can say,
and Danger's
my middle name. My parents have a good sense of humor.
Oh, that's great.
Don't you think, Greg, that the middle name should be for fun? Like,
yes.
Like if you want to name it,
Absolutely.
My son's middle name is named after Lisa's grandfather. That's fine. You want to name him after a person? But I love that this kid's middle name is Mookie, and she can tell that story for the rest of her life.
What do you think? The middle name's just a freebie? Just throw anything out there?
Like, what's your middle name?
John.
My middle name is Alexander. I never use it. It's a meaningless middle name.
That's cool.
You know,
but I had to follow in that line. Steve Mashonsky.
Yeah, I'm
Senior,
John
Steve
Alexander
Mashonsky
Ireland
Jr.
Jr.
Steve Mashonsky the third. Yeah,
that was my dad's name.
Yeah, the line ends here.
Right. So, I think, Greg, what's your middle name?
Adam.
Yeah, see, we all have, boring middle names.
So my daughter's middle name is Malia, which is MALI''A, because she was born in Hawaii and I wanted something.
Perfect use of a middle name.
Right?
I love that.
That's the whole point of it.
So I'm not down on this guy, Giuseppe, for doing this.
No, I think it's super cool.
I think it's fun. But I can't decide if somebody called us and said, I'm naming my son Mason Ireland something. We should be honored, right?
Absolutely. If you want to do
that's
it.
a lot to live up to.
Wait a minute. We had a guy, Christian Flores, who came up here with our logo tattooed to his shin.
Because we told him we put him in the air, and then we put him in the air, and he killed it.
And he was great on the air.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next for you, John, do you know what Idge Bowl is?
Idge Bowl? No.
Yeah. Anybody? Idge Bowl? I'm going to make you all sound cool. Coming up next, Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN. Let me tell you about my buddy Jacob Imrani. So, with all the crazy weather stuff, maybe in the last couple of days, everybody's dealing with it. Jacob Imrani wants everybody to slow down and use caution when you're driving. Accidents happen every day, but accident rates triple in rainy weather. And with the weather we've been dealing with, it could be even worse. So be cognizant of the fact that it will take longer to stop in the rain, and it will take an 18-wheeler even longer to stop than usual. So please be mindful of your fellow drivers. And lastly, don't drive into areas with low-lying accumulation of water. Take a different route and play it safe. If you are injured in an accident, call Jacob, 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. 844-24-JACOB. Or remember,
accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Anyway, Jacob and his team hope everybody's safe, healthy, and that Hillary will bypass us altogether with no damage. Be safe out there. Mason and Ireland, 710 ESPN.
Travis and Sliwa.
Ireland, your Monday. Welcome back, Steve and John. Mason made a proclamation today earlier on the show, which we know has no chance of happening.
Shut up.
By the way, after you went on your long, impassioned speech last week about how I will take this upcoming vacation and miss no other days, you miss the next 3 days.
No, but here's the thing. You can laugh, but I am right now. This is day one of what I say is going to be a 59 straight show streak.
Bergman, how much money am I allowed to bet Mythical Money that he will not go 59 days straight?
59 days, impossible. Meanwhile, Mason and Ireland continues. Your Monday afternoon right now.
Oh, everybody's doubting me. I'm used to that. I'm used to being underestimated.
That is for sure that everyone's doubting.
Underestimated.
Because it's not going to happen.
It is happening.
But this song right here, Mr. Blue Sky,
is
maybe my favorite song ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
by
very
the Electric Light Orchestra.
Yes, ELO. Yeah,
they were pretty big in their day.
They were.
They were. But
I'm surprised. I don't even think you were born when they were big.
Yeah, it was like 77, 78. Telephone Line was number one for them. Do you remember that song?
No.
Yeah.
But I know this song because it's just a very happy song. It always keeps me in a good mood. And when I'm in the car, I feel really happy whenever the song comes on.
Yeah.
I think this is my happy song.
Oh, a happy song.
Do you have a happy song?
Yeah, Happy by Pharrell.
Is that
that's a very
is
good
that
one.
actually your happy song, though?
No, Feeling All Right, Joe Cocker.
See? Do you have one? Do you have a happy song?
Yeah. Panic and 100 Bad Days. Do you know that song?
I know 100 Bad Days make 100 good stories.
100 bad days make 100 good stories. 100 good stories make you interesting at parties.
True.
I'm trying to think, okay, this is Mr. Blue Sky. Here's the other songs.
Do you have one, Brian?
Three Little Birds, Bob Marley.
Oh,
that's good.
Nice. I like that.
All right, Evil Woman, Yellow. Remember that?
Evil
Woman.
Yeah. Telephone Line is definitely one of them. Ooh, telephone line.
What was the song they played in Boogie Nights? Living Thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a living thing.
Yeah.
Can't Get You Out of My Head.
Yeah.
Is an ELO song. They had a lot of hits.
Yeah, a lot of hits. That's interesting.
Mid-70s. Greg, what year were you born?
1983.
Yeah, I'm surprised you even know who ELO
I
is.
can't listen to songs from the past. I like the
you
Beatles.
can.
You can.
Totally allowed to. Elvis, I know you got a lot of Elvis.
Yeah, I know you're a big
He's the most
Elvis
overrated
fan.
man in the history of music.
Okay, so Idgebol.
Yeah, what does Idgebol mean?
Idgebol. So if you are still using LOL in your text messages.
All right, I will say that I never did use LOL,
Okay.
but go ahead.
Just put ha ha ha.
Bergman, have you used LOL?
I just use ha with one exclamation point.
Yeah, ha ha, or ha ha ha, depending on what I want to portray.
Brian, do you use LOL?
Oh, yeah, regularly.
Okay, there you go. At least one of us is. I use it too. So the kids now, Gen Z, they're done with LOL. They now want it to be Idgebol. IJBOL. And it says, I just burst out laughing. Idgebol.
I don't like it.
just burst out laughing.
I think it's forced.
This is what, no, I'm telling you, this is what they're using now.
I will never use Idgebol.
I'm in on Idgebol. Bergman, are you in?
No,
Come on.
There's zero chance
Idgebol.
I will ever type out
Idgebol.
Idgebol.
All my text messages to you guys are going to have an Idgebol
Because
now.
if you type Idgebol to most people, they'll write back with 3 question marks.
Right. No,
what the hell do you
not
mean?
if it's somebody from the millennial generation. The millennials will say, yeah, they got it going on. They know Idgebol. I'm telling you, it's a
That
real
is
thing.
the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
Oh, screw you.
Yeah, it might be really dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you a question going back to your minor league baseball days?
Yes.
All right, something happened over the weekend that apparently was a big deal, and I never even knew it was a deal at all. So there was this rookie for the Cardinals, and he was called up. His name is Mason Wynn.
Okay. Great baseball name.
And Wynn.
Yeah.
And he had his first major league hit.
Okay. Yeah, right.
And the umpire said to Pete Alonso, the Mets first baseman, hey, that ball's dirty. We need a new ball. So Alonso took the ball and threw it in the stands.
Yep.
And then the Cardinal dugout yelled at him and said, hey, man, that was his first hit. We wanted to save that ball for him. And Alonso was like crushed. He ended up sending the guy like an autographed bat and a bunch of merchandise with a heartfelt apology. And he went over there. He goes, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know. They actually went to the fan who caught the ball Alonso threw and got it back.
Oh, they did get it back.
Yeah. So Mason Wynn has the ball, but that's a thing. Like your first,
your first major league hit is
every
a big deal.
time.
Yeah,
like every player.
Like your first major league home run. That's another one they try to get for you. First
Did
major
you
league
guys
hit.
all know that when you were?
Yeah. Well, we knew
Bergman, did you know this?
AAA baseball, it's not so much a thing. They don't save your ball.
But
This is my first hit in the pros,
if you make it to the major leagues and you get your when James Outman got his first hit, somebody saved the ball.
Yep. They always
Matter of
do.
fact, I think Outman's
you see the first base coach going pointing at the ball and saying, "Give it to me."
Wasn't Outman's first hit a home run? I think it was.
I think
and
it
then
was
they go,
a home run,
and then somebody from a staffer will go into the outfield and ask him, "Hey,
Find
can we
that
have this ball?" And they'll give you stuff.
Because don't you think if you were a major league baseball player, would you not want the first ball you hit for a single, first ball you hit out of the yard?
I have 2 holes in one. I have the first ball. I do not have the second one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I did with it.
So you have the first ball though?
Yeah, because I hit that one with my dad.
Did you sign it?
No.
Did your dad sign it?
No, but I have the scorecard.
Oh, you have the scorecard.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I think, I never knew. I never knew that like the first hit for a player was a big deal. I would have done what Alonso did.
Yeah.
And you just throw
Just
it
flip
up.
it into the stands.
Yeah.
So I have a question, and this is legit, and I don't think I'm the only one that has it.
Okay.
How the hell does Sunday Ticket work on YouTube? I'm
so glad.
Absolutely clueless.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So am I, and I'm like an avid Sunday ticket watcher. It seems like it's more expensive than it used to be.
It seems more expensive.
And is there still going to be a Sunday ticket app? Because when I'm on the road with the Lakers, I would just open the app and watch.
Don't know if you go to YouTube or you go to it's going to be huge, and it's more expensive. But here's the one nugget I saw. You're allowed to watch 4 games at once on the screen. So it's like
and your sound is Scott Hansen?
Your sound.
Because Siciliano's done, right?
Andrew's he's not doing it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
He's going on to big things at the NFL Network.
So you have to pay for it. It's extra on YouTube. I'm looking at it. NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV is $299. If you want Sunday Ticket and Red Zone, it's $339.
Well, can I only buy Red Zone?
I think you can. I'm not positive.
So $339.
And the NFL Network Red Zone that Scott Hansen's done for years is still available.
Still available.
Right?
There's also
and that's free, right?
Yeah,
free on NFL
Primetime
Network
channels is $399.
$399.
I think I'm going to try and go
Premium
without it.
sports package.
I think I'm going to try and go without it. I'll see if I can make it a few weeks, and if I can't, I'll just buy it. But
it's an add-on.
It's a ton of money.
So just be clear here. Do you have to subscribe to YouTube TV in order to buy Sunday Ticket?
Let me look deeper into it, but it says NFL Sunday Ticket is available as an add-on to a YouTube TV base plan subscription. So it sounds like you have to get YouTube TV and then add it on. But I don't know that for sure.
I have a login on YouTube, but I don't pay any money. I've never bought YouTube TV.
Right.
It sounds like I might have to.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an app on my smart TV that says YouTube, but I don't hardly ever use it unless I want to watch a music video or something. So I don't know. It's the most confusing thing. And I know we're not the only ones having problems with it. Somebody over the weekend I was talking to, they're like, how do I even work this thing?
Right.
It's going to be
it's
a huge
like anything else.
YouTube says no, having a YouTube TV membership is not required. You can purchase NFL Sunday Ticket by itself with YouTube primetime channels. No bundling is required.
So you don't have to buy YouTube TV.
But it sounds like you got to drop $340 to get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially to get the Red Zone.
I'm not doing it. Is that more or less?
I'm not doing it week one.
Is that more or less than last year?
I thought the old YouTube TV. I
thought
old
it was
Sunday
in the
ticket
twos.
was $199.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's gone way up.
Yeah, you can do it in 4 payments of $84.75.
Put it on layaway.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how you do everything around now.
Yeah, put it on layaway. Yeah, I don't know. I figured I'm not buying it.
All right, your game today, right?
Yes, it is my game. It is a name is your buzzer game, and it relates to people celebrating their birthdays.
Bergman, do I still have a chance even though I went on vacation? What?
So you're going to laugh. You are still leading.
So nobody
I didn't
had a
play.
big.
I didn't play one time last week.
Okay. So what's the standings?
So the standings right now are John 3, Bergman 2, Mace 2, Momo 2, Brian 1, Marcus 1, Michael Roth 1, Jacob 1, Pepe 1, Funchess 1.
What jumped out at me
Mace
there,
2.
Exactly. On August 21st, Steve Mason is 1 win out of the lead.
And
he has,
my year.
In 4 years of playing Game of Games, Mason has never outright won a month. He tied once.
Yes.
Bergman and I win almost every month.
Yes.
And
can't figure out why. I'm smarter than you people.
No, because Bergman and I are highly competitive, and a little piece of us dies every time we lose.
Yep.
You don't care. But now you should care because you got a chance.
Yeah.
And according to you, you're going to be here every day.
For the next 59 shows.
So you got a real shot
exactly.
here. Not today, though, because it's your game.
Yeah, my game. We will play my game coming up next. Anybody from the afternoon show going to play?
I know Beto's here. I'll ask him if he wants to play. If not, because his name is your buzzer, I want someone to be here.
Yeah,
so
it's
either
easier if
Lindsay
somebody's
or
here.
Laura or Beto will.
Okay, we'll do that coming up next. Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN.
It's time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in L.A., Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time. It is my game today. And let's see. Laura from the afternoon show is going to play. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Hi, guys.
How you
Welcome
been?
back.
What's
I'm
new?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Nothing much. I moved.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You like the new, or you're still in boxes probably, right?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Hang in there. Hang in there.
Thank
A little bit at a time. All right, so I've got a game which features everybody who's having a birthday this week. So
Okay.
they're all having birthdays this week, and it is Jeopardy style.
Okay.
So
who is?
You must answer in the form of a question.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Number 1. Owner of 3 world records, this Jamaican sprinter.
Ireland. Greg got me.
Greg.
And I'm blanking on his name.
3,
Yeah, go
2,
ahead, Ireland.
1. Ireland.
Who is Usain Bolt?
Yes, that is correct. Who
Why
is
did I
Usain
blank on his
Bolt?
name? That was
36
terrible,
years old. Yeah, just an unbelievable career. All right, number 2. Ireland's on the board. Number 2. He scored 31,419 points and reportedly scored with 20,000 women.
Ireland.
Correct. Ireland.
Who is Wilt Chamberlain?
Who is Wilt Chamberlain?
Yep.
That's the right answer, yes.
I should be tied.
All right. Number 3. Bret Hart, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels. Greg.
Who are wrestlers?
No, that's not the way I'm going.
Well,
Bret Hart, you're right.
I'm
about
right.
that, but that's not the question.
Who've never been in my kitchen.
Yeah. Bret Hart, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Jericho have all worked for this professional.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Who is Vince McMahon?
Vince McMahon is correct. 77 this week.
Ireland 4.
Ireland 3.
I don't know. Your total for the month.
No, I haven't won yet.
Yeah, it's not
Damn,
over.
he's already there. Okay.
It's not over. Hey, Laura, you doing okay over there?
I'm chilling. You
What, are you
know.
just having lunch or
You know.
nibbling something? All right.
I'm a placeholder for today.
Here we go. Number 4. This British actor is part of one of the biggest franchises of all time.
Greg. Sean Connery. Who is Sean Connery?
No.
Damn.
Let him finish.
By the way,
No,
he's Scottish.
By the way, and you might have gotten this too. This British actor is part of one of the all-time biggest franchises of all time, playing the memorable role of Ron Weasley.
Oh, I know that one. Who,
Anybody?
Can I guess?
I
it?
don't know the
I'll
actor's
just tell you.
name.
I can't
I don't
get
know
the
the
point.
wait a minute.
actor's name.
I know his
Let me
name.
just guess.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Who is Michael Caine?
No, it's a very
No.
nice try.
No, it's
Okay.
who is Rupert Grint?
That is correct answer. Yeah,
nice.
Rupert Grint. Bergman, I actually kind of teed that up for you.
No,
'cause you're-
I was trying to get in early because Ireland's getting all.
Yeah, all right.
Tried.
You're dying here.
Guessing names.
I mean, he's at least trying. Me and Brian are like, what?
Brian,
You guys just keep it
Brian,
quiet.
Brian,
You
you
still
still
over
over
there?
there? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
it's the Jersey Brian.
I don't know why I know that name either.
Okay, here we go.
Weird.
Born in Puerto Rico, this utility man started this season. Greg.
Who is Kike Hernandez?
That is
There you
correct.
go,
Kike
Bergman.
I should be
Hernandez.
winning this game.
31 this week.
Yep.
All right. Number 6. Ed Wood. Edward Scissorhands.
Ireland.
Greg.
Ireland.
Who is Johnny Depp?
No.
Who?
I'll finish. Ed Wood, Edward Scissorhands, and Nightmare Before Christmas are among this quirky director's master. Greg.
No,
No,
Laura.
Laura's
Laura got in there.
Laura.
Who is Tim Burton?
Who is Tim Burton? Nice.
Nice
Laura's
job.
on the board.
Laura, way to go.
Thank you.
All right, number 7. This English and Albanian pop superstar is best known for her song Levitating.
Greg.
Greg.
Who is Dua Lipa?
That is correct.
Oh,
Who is Dua
you're
Lipa?
within one, Greg.
Within one, you're in
How
it.
many are left?
4.
Okay.
Wow.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do got plenty.
Number 8. We learned that he was a jerk to his staff after an 8-year run.
Greg.
Greg.
Who is Chevy Chase?
No.
Brian.
Oh.
Brian.
Who was Steve Carell?
No.
Okay, Laura.
We learned that he was a jerk to his staff after an 8-year run as host of the Late Late Show on CBS. 3, 2.
Ireland. Who is James Corden?
That is correct. Who is James Corden?
I was like, what's the last name?
Yeah.
You could have said who is James.
Oh, I don't think that would have gotten me.
All right,
No, I
this
don't think
Saturday
so.
Night Live legend starred in the blockbuster Bridesmaids.
Ireland. Who is Kristen Wiig?
That is correct. Ireland with 5 and just about closing it out. We've got 2 more. We'll do them just for fun. Yeah, I think you've won.
Yeah, you got 3 up.
This 3-point specialist has played for Memphis, Cleveland, Phoenix, Sacramento, Dallas, Portland, Philly, and Brooklyn. And his brother is
Ireland.
Ireland.
Who is Seth Curry?
That is correct.
God,
wow.
he's played for that many teams?
Wow.
Yeah, he has played for all those teams.
For a good 3-point shooter,
yeah,
he played
very
for a
good.
lot of teams.
All right, last one I got here. This 3-point specialist played his whole career with one team after playing his high school ball in Riverside, Ireland.
Who is Reggie Miller?
Reggie Miller is correct, and it was an Ireland tsunami right
Did
there.
Brian even score?
Brian.
No. Oh, Brian, you pulled the Curtis.
You pulled the Curtis.
No, that has to be on like a yes or no game.
Wait a minute. No.
There were a lot of questions there.
That was 11 questions.
But it names your buzzers. It's very easy to go scoreless in a name as your
I got one, bro.
Hey, you got one. That was
Yeah,
good.
one.
I'm like,
But like name as your buzzer is easy to go
I
scoreless.
think from now on it's called a Cohen.
A Cohen.
Come on. Until someone knocks you off, going scoreless is now a Cohen.
The full Cohen. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. There's the game.
All right, one more reminder, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that in 10 minutes from now, the mighty El Segundo Little League team
Oh, that's right.
is on ESPN2 trying to advance in the Little League World Series. So go El Segundo. This is a team. I live in Manhattan Beach, one city over. This team practices and plays less than a mile from the Lakers practice facility, so a lot of people pulling for the kids from El Segundo. And Danny, their manager, let's go El Segundo.
Today, we are all El Segundans.
There you go.
By the way, somebody just tweeted me and said there's a student rate for the YouTube.
Good. Let's become students.
Yeah, exactly. Go back to school, save some dough.
Why not?
This is a story for Greg, specifically Greg. So you're a big Margot Robbie fan, right?
Yes, I love Margot Robbie.
So, by the way, she made $50 million from the Barbie movie, which was huge. Now, brand new website. I guess it's not brand. The website's been around for a while. It's called Fun with Feet. It is the #1 platform.
Rex Ryan website? I don't know.
Oh, he would love that website.
#1 platform to buy and sell foot pictures and videos. And they are offering Margot Robbie $250,000 for a picture of her feet.
See, if I were her, I would do it.
Well, she should do it, but then get proceeds for every time someone buys
What do you
them.
mean, royalties?
Yeah, she should get royalties, absolutely.
No,
$250,000 for taking a snap of your feet?
And
Come
she
on.
should donate the money to charity and just say, I think this is funny.
If you're a foot guy, here are my feet. I'm giving the money to charity. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Now,
but
would
she
you
should
go
get
to
proceeds
would
to
you
go to the charity?
Have you been to Fun with Feet?
No, I am not a foot fan.
I'm with you, Greg. I've never understood a foot fetish.
I really don't get. I mean, if it's your thing,
that's cool.
Good for you. And
people like lamps.
Nibble all the toes you want. But
I love lamp.
I love lamp.
Hey, by the way,
do you really love lamp?
You guys see my guy Austin Reeves tearing it up for Team USA?
How about that?
Great.
Played the whole fourth quarter, had 16 points off the bench. I was listening to a podcast with Darvin Ham, and I think it was with Mark Stein and Chris Haynes.
Yep.
And Darvin said something that I now agree with. I think Austin Reeves is going to be an all-star one day. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I think he's Gordon Hayward. He's like got that skill set.
Right.
He's shooting 58% from 3. He's getting, and Bill Simmons sent out a tweet that said there's a lot of big names on that Team USA.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some political problems because Tyrese Halliburton and Austin Reeves need to be on the court at the end of games. And they're not necessarily the biggest names on the team.
Right.
Anthony Edwards is the best player on the team.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is a monster.
But there's a bunch of other big names on that team that I think Austin and Halliburton are going to be out there at the end. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, I have such high hopes for this year in Austin Reeves. I mean, I thought...
I think he's the third best player on our team.
Yeah, there's no question yet. I mean, last year, it was a big 2.5.
Right.
I wouldn't call it a big 3, but I call it a big 2.5 because he came through at the most critical moments.
And I love his competitiveness. I love the fact that he rarely does stupid stuff. He
Yeah.
doesn't turn it over.
Very,
he doesn't
very
take
smart
bad
basketball
shots.
player. Yeah.
LeBron trusts him.
Yep.
I think. Do you see LeBron in the stands for LeBron James
Yeah.
bobblehead night? And Mookie hit 2 home runs, and while he was rounding the bases, he would salute
Saluted
LeBron.
LeBron. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, Mookie's hot. It's fascinating because it's Ronald Acuna's probably going to win MVP, but Freddie Freeman, Mookie, and Matt Olson, who replaced Freeman in Atlanta,
He's
are
been
all
fantastic.
in it.
Yeah.
They all could be in the argument for MVP in the National League. Otani's got the American League MVP
locked up.
But the National League MVP is closer than I thought it would be.
I still think Acuna's probably.
I do too.
I think Acuna stole his.
Well, Greg,
maybe a 60th.
You've been
base
making
last
the
night.
case that it's closer than we think it is, and I was looking at numbers the other day, and I think you might be right. I
It's
could see
right
Freddie
there.
Freeman winning it. I could see Mookie Betts. I could see Matt Olson getting some votes.
The problem is that Mookie and Freddie are going to probably split votes a
Well,
little
why
bit.
won't Olson and Acuna split votes?
Oh, I mean, I guess they could, but I think Acuna's way above Olson.
I think Acuna's way above Olson, even though Olson's stats are Freeman-esque.
See, I think Freeman is probably closest to
Freeman
Acuna.
is ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean,
He's so fun to watch.
They're like even numbers between him and the only thing that's not is the stolen bases.
Want to hear something crazy? I pulled this yesterday. So the combined OPS of Mookie and Freddie Freeman is 970.
Oh, my gosh.
The combined OPS of the rest of the lineup is 740. That's the
About
largest
average.
margin in baseball history, with a 230-point lineup gap being 36 points wider than last year's Angels lineup.
And think about this. They could add Shohei next year, which would make it crazy. Brian, hit the super stager.
KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk, presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
There we go. Beto is in the house. Cappy's in the house. What's going on, guys? How you feeling?
Can I just tell you guys really quickly that this megaphone that I only use once a day to scream Love Boat into,
Right.
Yeah.
I carry it with me everywhere I go in my backpack just in case I ever need to scream Love Boat.
Now, are there other places to yell Love Boat other than the show?
Not really. No.
I was like, where else do you yell Love Boat?
Nowhere.
But I'm prepped
Nowhere
up.
should you yell Love Boat?
Correct. But I am prepped up, and I do carry around the megaphone in my bag.
Nice.
So just the other day, I'm in an airport, and my worst fear happens.
Oh, no.
Megaphone died?
No. Worse.
TSA.
The opposite.
TSA got you.
TSA took it?
No. So I'm in line.
No
and-
megaphones. That's
and
one
I
of the
go
rules.
to I go to like put my bag up
On a plane?
the
Yeah.
No, I go to put my bag up on the thing, the conveyor belt, whatever.
Yes.
The TSA conveyor belt.
And for whatever reason, I put my bag in a certain way, and all of a sudden this happens in the airport.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
That happened in the airport?
In the airport. Now, you know how, like, when somebody's car alarm is going off
You
and
are
it's not
a
yours?
dum-dum.
Right.
You are just a
So what happened
rabid
after
dum-dum.
it went off?
So it starts going off, and you can hear it. Right? And I'm looking around like, oh, no, what the hell? What happened? What did I do? And then I realized,
People
oh, my
hitting
God,
the
wait,
deck.
this is coming from my bag. And now I open my bag. I hurry up. I open my bag. I turn it off. And I look around like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Like I was in like a full-on sweat and panic. I was out of breath. I had to apologize to everybody at TSA.
Yeah.
I had to apologize to everybody who was behind me in line because everybody freaked out. Like, what does that mean? What's going on?
But can they confiscate a megaphone? I would not think a megaphone is a.
Why are you
fair
traveling with
thing.
the megaphone?
Yeah, what do you.
It's just in his backpack. I
Get
do
rid
that
of
all
it.
the time.
Yeah, but you don't
this
have
is
a
a
megaphone,
megaphone.
John.
Like the other day, I carry these headphones in my backpack.
Right,
I took them to Idaho for some
Right,
reason.
but he's
We all
carrying
have
a
headphones.
megaphone.
Yeah.
Normal people.
Cap,
headphones.
I sympathize with your predicament.
I do
well,
not.
there is an answer, Beto. It's a good question. It's a legit question. The reason is because I actually intended to fly back from New Orleans to L.A. and then be at L.A. Live today.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was then, the hurricane is coming.
Yeah,
the hurricane is coming.
Hurricane.
Right.
We had a hurricane yesterday.
And so I decided to leave New Orleans, where I dropped my daughter off at college. Rather than Sunday night, I moved my flight up to Saturday afternoon. So, again, the reason I had the megaphone is because, Beto, we were in studio on Friday. I needed it. And then Wednesday, I needed it. And then I was leaving Thursday, and I was planning on coming back, and I was going to be there. Anyway, I had it because I thought I needed it.
Couldn't you just left it in your car?
Yeah, I probably could have left it in my car. It probably would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
And I had all my other stuff, too. Microphone, headphones, camera. I mean, I got all my podcasting equipment. I don't know why I had it all.
Right. Well,
because he's ready for the Cappy Cast in Tulane, you know.
So when you go down there, do you eat the food? How long do you hang out? I love New Orleans. You're down in you weren't in New Orleans, were you?
No, it's uptown New Orleans, so it's about 10 to 15 minutes outside of downtown New Orleans. But it was great, man. Listen, Beto, I'm telling you, and I have this. I want to talk to you about this later because I don't know that you're prepared yet for what's about to happen to you tomorrow.
Oh my God!
When you go to drop your son off in New Jersey at college.
Yeah, I already made plans for myself. I'm going to the Yankee game, and I'm also going to see Hamilton.
Okay, well those are two great things.
Is Mateo going with you?
No.
Okay, you're just
we're going to drop him off.
Get him all set up.
Hey, here you go, kid. You're go pick up your stuff.
Now I'm off to the city. I'm seeing Hamilton.
Yeah, I paid tuition. I'm good.
Game.
I'm done. Yeah,
good for you.
So if anybody has Hamilton tickets, I'll take them.
Do you not have them yet?
Have you never seen it?
No.
Did you watch it on HBO?
No, it just what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my daughter. She's going also.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna take her. She hates plays. She hates everything about that. So it's perfect for a 13-year-old.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
she'll actually love it.
Yeah, so we're gonna go see that. And Ruben Carbajal, who's playing Hamilton's son right now, he's a big 710 listener, by the way.
Nice.
Not like Cappy says. This guy actually listens.
No, everybody listens. I tell you that all the time.
Ruben went to Loyola High, Cal State Fullerton, and he's a huge Dodger fan. And we've interacted over the couple of years. And I'm gonna take him the Fernando bobblehead they gave out the other day.
Oh, excellent.
And he's like, I don't have any tickets. I'm like, I'm not asking for tickets, guy, but I'm gonna go backstage after the show.
Well, it's calmed down a little bit, but there once was a time where the tickets for Hamilton were Taylor Swift-esque.
Yeah.
By the way, Cappy, how much did your daughter end up paying, if you don't mind me asking, to get into Hamilton, or did you just pay it?
No, I think that
she ditched him.
No,
she
I don't
found
think
somebody who left him.
Right? No, I don't think she paid.
Yeah, she pulled a Cappy.
I think somebody's dad paid for it.
Hey, Kingder,
and nobody said to me, "Hey, by the way, you owe me $1,600 for those back-to-back nights of tickets." Which, by the way, is kind of funny. I know how the whole Taylor Swift thing that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
At SoFi, and some of us were really embracing it and kind of thought it was interesting. I had FOMO. I didn't get to go. Right, and then other people.
I
were
liked Taylor. Good for her. Everything she did. I just hated being knocked over the head on this station with it over and over and over.
Yeah,
I thought it was
come
really
here for
interesting.
escaping Taylor.
It was amazing.
I thought it was amazing to hear Stephen A. Smith talk about how he had to take his daughter.
Yes.
Did you see how much he spent?
Right, and his daughter's like, well, my dad's famous, and my dad's on ESPN, so he can get tickets to anything he wants to.
That's what your daughter says.
And right, but Stephen A. probably can. But then he winds up telling the story. He spent $20,000 on Taylor Swift tickets. But then Stephen A. comes out and he says, by far and away, the greatest performer I've ever seen in my life. Which I was pretty shocked to hear. Did you guys? That seemed to perk you guys up. You guys didn't hear that.
No, did not hear that. But
I've never heard anyone. I've never heard anyone disappointed after a Taylor Swift concert. But 20,000 is the interesting thing. He bought 10 tickets.
Yes.
For his daughters and their friends.
Insane. Well, he's got
so
Stephen A.
Cappy. How much would you? Let's say your daughter didn't have the hookup.
Yep.
But she came to you and said, "Dad, this is what I really want. You don't have to buy me anything for my birthday. You don't have to buy me anything for Christmas. I can't afford to go see Taylor Swift." I'm curious, how high would you have been willing to go?
I probably would have reached my threshold, kind of the way Mace gave that woman who didn't give him the dog $500. Remember when he gave that woman that money?
Yes.
$500 probably would have been about it because I'm just offended by the prices.
It is crazy. By the way, and I'm going to see Beyonce on September the 2nd, and the tickets for that are less. It's you don't have to put them on layaway. You can actually get into Beyonce.
One thing, Mace, one thing I've always admired about you is that you have always been willing to spend money on experiences.
Yes.
So, like, there are certain Mason.
Oh, Mason, yeah.
So, for example, like he's paid top dollar for Super Bowl tickets, top dollar for World Series Game 7 tickets.
I want to be there in it.
What is the Super Bowl the most you've ever paid? Or was it Dodgers Game 7?
I think it was Dodgers Game 7.
Do you remember what it was? Are you comfortable saying?
I think it was
couple grand.
I think it was $2,500 a seat.
I thought it would have been more
for the World Series. That's cheap because you always get good seats.
Game
too.
7. Yeah, I was down the left. I was down the third baseline.
Yeah, you were in the second. You're in the Loge level.
I was in the Loge.
Yeah.
So I was talking to our mutual friend Michael Roth, who runs all things AEG, and so his phone rings all the time whenever there's a big concert tour in town. And he said, Michael told me that you'd be shocked. Every once in a while you'll get a performer. Taylor Swift, Adele, U2.
Yeah.
And the message he'll get, whether it be by text or voicemail, is money is no object. Like, you need to get me in.
Yep.
Money is no object. And you guys would be shocked at how much people are willing to pay. I've heard people pay upwards of $15,000 for one ticket.
Oh, we see that for Lakers for the playoffs.
To like Taylor Swift, Lakers,
really?
Game 7, yeah.
Because it's rich people wanting to show off that they were there.
That's true.
Too.
I'm here. Look at me.
Look at me. I got into the hardest ticket to get this week.
Right. Yeah. The most I've ever spent for a ticket on anything is $500.
Yeah.
But I might be willing to go higher if I didn't work for the Lakers and the Lakers had a Game 7 against the Celtics and I really wanted to be there.
Different story.
Yeah.
But Stephen
So
A.
I've never begrudged Mace for paying top dollar for those experiences.
I want experience. I don't buy stuff. I pay for experiences.
That's great.
And that's a
stuff
philosophy
I remember.
that is valued.
You go on vacations, you do experiences. That's great.
But can we just admit though that like $20,000 is a huge amount of money, right?
You would do it too.
Right?
Don't worry.
But I just would say this: if I were making $8 million a year, and my daughter was kind of bragging all of her friends, "Oh my God, my dad's a superstar. He's on ESPN. He's on First Take every day. In fact, there's not a TV show on ESPN that he's not on." I think that $20,000 could be money well spent. If you're making $8 million a year.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
It's cheap.
It's all relative.
No, everyth's cheap when you're making $10 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Cappy, how's your horse doing?
Well, Beto, you remember last week that my horse Raging Torrent that Mace wanted to buy a piece of,
right? And
by the massage chair.
did I not follow that really close? I followed that race closely. I was texting you all day.
Right, and in that race, Bob Baffert had two monsters in that race.
Bob Baffert.
And his 2-1 horse, which was second favorite, beat his 9-5 horse, and we came in third.
That's not horrible.
No, that's not bad.
You placed.
Yeah.
We showed.
So what happens? Oh yeah, win, place,
Now,
show.
does it still have a chance to go to the Kentucky Derby, or does that dropping to third? Does that screw it up?
You can really buy in really cheap right now if you want.
It doesn't help matters, that's for sure. But we're trying to decide now, Mace. This is kind of the whole key. Do we run this horse the last day at Del Mar in the Del Mar Futurity, which is really the one of the great prep races for the Kentucky Derby?
Yep.
Or do we wait, run the horse back in October at Santa Anita, and if we come in first or second in that race, then we're destined for the Breeders' Cup, which this year is early November at Santa Anita.
You too can have this conversation if you buy in, Cap.
Right. Come on, Mace. $5,000.
Or you can go in the chair and relax and forget all about this.
No, you can have both.
Wait, what's going on with our chair?
We're moving forward on the chair.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah, somebody needed 2 weeks to see if they could get us a deal. I don't think it happened, so now we're moving forward.
Right. We're buying a 2-pack of massage chairs. John's buying one.
Yeah,
and
mine needs a replacement. So
we're
you want in?
No.
We're going to try to save some money.
Yeah, we're going to try. We're going to. I've got a couple listeners already help me out.
The guy in Gardena?
Deal.
If we buy him in bulk.
The guy in Gardena's got a lot of chairs. Yeah.
If we buy him in bulk, do we get him cheaper? Like if I said, I want one too. Now we're at 3.
Cappy,
I'll ask.
If
Cappy.
you seriously want to buy one, you'll go in
not.
on this. You're full of.
No,
yeah, you don't.
You got to
Cap,
spend
do you?
money, Cappy.
Cap, it's going to cost
Real
you
money?
between $3,000 and $5,000.
Oh God! I mean, Mace, are you going to join the stable for $5,000?
No, get the
No,
chair.
he's spending money on the chair.
The
Right,
chair
but don't
will
you guys
last me
remember
the rest of my life.
But don't you remember? It was $20,000 to buy a share in the stable.
Yeah.
Mace balked. Actually, it was really Juan who
balked. Yeah.
And I actually thought Juan was all in. I thought Juan was
Juan
going to
is
go
smart.
home.
I'll tell you, he still talks about that day at the track. He was thrilled.
It was a great time to visit. I texted Juan. I said, "Don't do it."
Right. So
Don't
I was
do it.
thinking, but I figured if we sold Mace and Juan just a quarter of a share at $5,000,
Yeah.
and they got the massage chair, now they got both for less.
But the horse keeps losing.
Yeah. If
Well,
your
that's one
horse had won, I'd say, yeah, let's go to the Derby.
Uh-huh.
But now I think,
Mace just wants to go to the Derby. It'll be cheaper for you to go on your own to the Derby than investing in this horse.
That's true.
It would be. You're right. It would be cheaper.
Yeah, call Trevor Denman. He'll take care of you.
Yeah.
But it would just suck, though, that if I was walking on the track before the Kentucky Derby and you were there at the Derby and you were like, I could have been a part of that. I could have walked on the track myself.
I could have been a contender.
Yeah, but
you
instead
could go
got
one
a
of those
massage
charity
chair.
auctions and buy an experience walking on the mat.
One says this year the massage chair, next year the stable.
Okay,
there you go.
And I got to tell you this. So if you go to, is it Fubar TV? What is that thing called? Tubi? Is there a thing called Tubi?
Yeah, there is a thing called Tubi.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
so
what you're
Cappy,
asking about.
is that where season 2 of Stable Wars is?
Oh, I tried looking for that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's on Tubi.
Is it on Tubi?
It's like a reality show about
Oh,
horse
and
ownership.
Cappy's in it
10
and
years
it is
ago.
Great.
Oh, you've seen it? I didn't want to pay for
the
it.
entire damn thing. I didn't have to pay for it. We watched it for free. I think Tubi's one of those. Isn't Tubi free?
I honestly don't know. Somebody told me that season 2 of Stable Wars was on Tubi, and I opened my big fat mouth and mentioned it.
Yeah, the description is best. Radio host Scott Kaplan and you and who's that guy? Billy Koch, the former pitcher.
Yeah.
You guys go back and forth. That's like the rivalry.
Right, and then I love the fact that you've got the Real Housewives or one of the
Housewives
staples.
Del Mar.
Mace, you like that?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Hell yeah.
I loved it. And then I love that John Wayne's granddaughter showed up. That was actually cool.
I'm gonna watch it on the plane tomorrow.
Yeah,
Send me the link.
It is really, really fun. I think it is.
Mace, are you being serious?
I think it was great.
Really?
We watched it. We watched it we binged it.
Yeah,
we
during
watched
Hurricane
it every
Watch,
night.
they were doing it.
Yeah, I think it's entertaining as hell.
Because I haven't watched it, but I can just tell Cappy 10 years ago, the extra little gel in there, he's all gelled up. He's ready to go.
I'm more likely to invest in season 3 of Stable Wars than I am in your stable.
Hey, Mace, you'll love this. You'll actually love this. You ready? So year 1 of that show, literally the producer, guy by the name of Dan Diefenbach, who's probably listening right now, he would wake up every morning, he would text me and he'd go, what's going on today? And I said, well, I'm doing a radio show, then I'm going to go to the track, we have a horse run. He's like, great, I'm just going to follow you all day. And then the reality show was like, hey, this is where Scott went to lunch today. So year 2, though, my partner was like, no, we need like a Housewives of Orange County meets the track. And so then we wound up hiring this producer to be a showrunner. And this guy kind of squeezed me out of my executive producer title.
Right.
And at the end of the year, when I was so disenfranchised with what we had done, because it wasn't as real as it was in year 1.
Right.
It wasn't real. No way.
No, but
are you kidding me? That reality show?
In the first year,
Oh.
you didn't have the Real Housewives.
One more minute, John. One more minute.
It was what it was, Beto. It was Billy Koch, not the baseball player. His grandfather, Mace, you'll know, his grandfather was like the producer of Airplane. And he might be like the head of the motion picture. Dad might be the head of the motion picture.
So he was a Hollywood bigwig.
Correct. So anyway,
let me tell you something.
It was rivalry. It was real.
Yeah, it was
Year
real.
2 was all a bunch of nonsense.
Oh no, I thought I was that. What was the lady
He's
stable?
a purist.
What was the stable with the Real Housewives?
The Flying Phillies.
The Flying Phillies. John, you would like this. The Flying Phillies.
Why not?
Yeah, got
All
their own
women
stable. They don't know a damn thing about horses. I can tell you that much.
Well, if there are housewives involved, I'm in.
It's a little bit like that Property Brothers, or no? What's the one? Realtors of Orange County. What's that show called?
Oh yeah,
Real Estate
Selling
Orange
OC.
County. Yeah, those women don't know anything.
I like
about
Selling
real estate.
Sunset. That's mine. All right,
Selling
have a
Sunset.
good show, boys.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. We made it to 12.
Beautiful.
Now, Cappy, are you going? The bar is very high when Shinano is here. There's a lot of stupidity. Are you able to develop some stupidity for my ride home?
Oh, there is no doubt that between Beto and myself, we will create plenty of stupidity.
We've had some radio magic the last
Did you hear what we
weeks.
did last week?
No, what'd you do?
Oh, you didn't hear about?
Don't tell him, FOMO.
Okay, I'll
FOMO.
wait until you get in your car.
We
Okay.
even had young Cappy in here, Jaden.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jaden or Justin?
See? Thanks for listening.
Wait a minute. Isn't your son Justin?
Yeah, but this was my daughter, Jaden.
Oh, your daughter, Jaden. Okay. All right. All right. We're out of here. We're back tomorrow at 1 o'clock sharp. In the meantime, as promised, much stupidity with Scott Kaplan and Beto in for Shinano. See you tomorrow.